Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today, and welcome to episode 254 of Defining Duke, a Valve podcast. We got a PC, y'all, and we're here to talk about it. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, who always has steam coming off the top of his head.
Steaming.
That's Lord Cognito. How are you doing today, good sir?
Hanging in. A little under the weather.
We traded.
Yeah, we traded play. Yeah, now I got what you got. And just a lot of running around. And then I'm just trying to, the goal is just got to get to the birthday weekend. I just got to get to the birthday weekend. Yeah. That is my sanctuary. That is my North Star. And I'm just trying to do everything I need to do.
What's the plan for the big day?
Nothing major, surprisingly. I know.
Celebrate yourself. I hope you're not doing that, right? You're not like, I don't matter this year.
Nah.
Okay, I gotta do arms folded energy. None of that.
No arms folded energy.
Okay.
No, just it's a different kind of a year. It's a weird year because it's like there's a lot of good stuff happening, but then there's a lot of stuff. And the person I'm like, stress, drama. You know what I'm saying? So I said I'm gonna keep this one small. Friends and family, but a very small thing.
Low-key.
Keep it low key, and just celebrate and try to have some fun with those that love you and that kind of thing. But I'm trying to make it. It's the main thing right now. This week's been absolutely crazy. But first of all, how are you doing? Because you were not feeling well. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling better now. I appreciate you and Hogue holding it down. I listened to the show. You guys, as expected, did incredible. But usually if I missed the show, I really got put on my ass. So I went to my niece's birthday party, her first birthday, and lots of kids running around. And I forgot kids equal sickness always. Yes. And so someone passed something on to me that started off as just like, oh, I'm congested, right? And I'm that guy who the right side of my face is just constantly clogged. I can't breathe out of my right nostril today. Of course, I'm literally used to feeling like this. So I don't really think much of it. But it's at the point where I'm like, I just can't breathe out of that nose.
Oh no.
The following day though, my lymph nodes were really hurting. I've never had this before, but it was actually almost spasming. I was like, yo, it really hurts. So my lovely wife, she's like, I know a remedy. So she has me lay on my back. She takes this kind of ointment and starts doing a face massage down on my neck to help drain the lymph nodes.
Okay.
Bless her soul, that shit worked. I was no longer getting those pains. So I thought I was groovy, right? Okay. As we start cruising, though, I'm getting a lot of phlegm, a lot of mucus, a lot of coughing, chills. I'm like, what is going on, right? So then, not to be TMI with the audience, but again, when something puts me out, it's pretty serious. Then I start to get blood in the mucus, and I'm like, what? Freaked me out. I was like, what is going on here? So went to urgent care first, and the guy was like, I call it the photo gallery. When I'm starting to cough something like that, I'm like, yep, pick, and then, hey doc, what do you think?
Yes.
Because my verbal description can only go so far. I'm like, I want you to see what I'm seeing, and you tell me if I'm crazy. So he was chill. He was just I think you just have a bad viral infection. Turns out, though, I don't know if you've heard this. This doctor told me that he was, by the way, I'm not a guy who's always give me the meds. I'm not, if I need it, great. But I haven't been to the doctor in a while, and I'm, outside of my general physicals and stuff, but I haven't been on medicine. But he told me that a lot of these doctors would usually prescribe medication instantly, but they've decided not to because there's an antibiotic resistance building up. And so they want you to stay sick longer and hopefully get over it. So he's like, yeah. And so I told him the truth. I said, look, this, and number one, I'm barely here. Two, I had to the money I had to pay to get in here.
That part.
And I was like, I don't want to come and see you again. I said, I'm not trying to spend that much. So nice dude, gave me his card. He's like, if you're not feeling well, just give me a call. He's like, I've seen you recently enough. So I ring him up after the weekend because that's when I was really getting chills. Just managed to make it to Chainsaw Man though. Got to see that in theaters. Didn't feel great while doing it, but good movie. Good movie. Nice. But was suffering while it was happening. So yeah. Anyway, wasn't feeling great. So call him at the end of the weekend. I'm just like, dude, like I said, I'm sorry. Like I hate to be that guy, but I was like, I need medicine.
Yeah, we need some medicine.
Yeah.
So the initial thing is you saw him. He's like, we don't want to prescribe. We want you to kind of ride it out. And then if you don't improve that.
Yeah. And he's like, he's like, if you get worse. And I'm like, I mean, to his credit, it didn't cost me like anything extra to just give him the call and everything. So that was good. But yeah, then I got on medicine and then I started to return to normal. But then it was still like a little bit of blood. And I was at that point, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go see an ENT because now this is the health is wealth mindset kicking in. That's when you called me about Duke. Yeah. Like I'm driving the ENT and COD calls me. I'm like, oh, something big happened.
I was like, yo, bro, I haven't done this in a while. He's got a quick question on something.
Yeah.
I'm not messing this up when you're not around.
No, I don't blame you. I'm glad you called. But I'm going to the ENT because I'm like, I need them to look in the nose and the throat, all that stuff, and just like cross that off. Because at this point, like the bleeding is still there. And I don't know if I'm just like really dry. So they look around. That's what it is. So basically, there was so much dryness from the infection that it was like making the mucus bloody.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, he gave me prednisone and he was like, in this and the Z-Pack, you'll be on your, and they were right. And so, by, I would say Saturday. I mean, this hung with me for a while.
For a minute, yeah.
Like a good couple of weeks, I was all right. But man, like I canceled everything. I obviously didn't make Duke. I didn't go to a concert for my favorite band.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
My home team, which was a bummer. And then I got invited to an event by Nintendo, and I didn't get to go to that. So yeah, I really like missed out. But it's always going to be something, right? I'm always going to be, I didn't get to do this or I didn't get to do that. So it was a bummer, but glad to be back on my feet because, I mean, when that happens, like, I mean, I took a week off basically, dude. Like I uploaded once in that stretch of time and it was just because I had a video prepared.
Yeah.
But, I just sat on the couch and just played a lot of Digimon. And then some Fallout 4. We'll talk about it.
We're going to talk about that.
We'll talk about
Perfect sick remedy.
Just make me more ill this time mentally.
Here's the quick question. Now, when they give you the prednisone, you get a Z-Pack and all that, we finished to completion?
Yes.
Because you know how they give you the days and the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I had to tell Kay, I was like, bro, like he was sick. And I was like, whatever you do, when you start feeling better, don't stop. Finish it to completion because if you don't, there's a chance for it to come back strong. And then we talk about resistances and all that other stuff as well.
Yeah, no, I'm a good patient. I listen to my doctors and I finish my medicine. I do all I'm told. So yeah, it's all done. And it's a very chalky pill. I hate that. Like it's got a funky flavor. So I got to mix it with some food. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little aftertaste. It's a little nasty. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I like that joke. I remember that.
Yeah. But I appreciate you asking. I appreciate the well wishes and some of our write-ins and the comments. It was very much appreciated because I hate missing the show. So I'm just glad to be back. And I guess I picked a good week to come back.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Here we are. But first, Cog, let's talk about hair.
Yeah, all right, let's do it.
This comes from Connor. He writes, "Hey, Cog and Maddie, my wife suggested that I begin growing my hair out. And what spawned this was me having an episode of The Dukes on the TV while I was cleaning. She said, I want one more hurrah of this," and pointed at Maddie. "Before we have this for the rest of our lives," and pointed at Cog.
Yo.
I jumped to defend my homeboy Cog and said, I think both are incredibly handsome men. And that when I go bald, I hope I look half as fly as Cog. Needless to say, I'm going to try to have the Maddie flow for the next year or so. Love you guys. Keep it up. I thought this was too funny to not include Cog.
Hilarious.
We represent our hairstyles well, I think.
Yes.
Yes. We do a good job.
This is actually too much for me. I got to get a cut. This is way too much. That is funny. So kind of what we doing? We doing the full on Maddie? Like what we doing? Like how? Like Maddie, now you versatile with. You'll switch up the style. Right now you got the little bandana going on, so I can't express it. But
yeah, my hair's flat as hell today. So But
what version of the Maddie should he go?
Yeah, are we doing the middle part? I mean, does your wife want you to look like me? How similar do we look, Connor? I want to know that too. But yeah, there's a lot. I mean, dude, my hair, I'm like obsessed with getting my hair right. Like I remember I had to convince my parents to let me grow my hair out. I used to have short hair with the flip in the front. I had the flip.
Okay.
So whack. Yeah. But then I saw a lot of skateboarders had longer hair, and that's like what I always wanted. And then I went through an interesting phase of my hair in the 2020s, actually, now that I really think about it. When we first started doing LSM content, I think back to some of the hairstyles I had, and I was experimenting, and one was more mullet-like. Didn't really...
Did the mullet.
Wasn't really cooking.
We had the party in the back.
Yeah, tried. I think my hair is just too thin for that.
Gotcha.
And then I always wanted to have thicker hair. But then I think I got it once. My wife's mom is a hairdresser, and she started doing my hair, and she just like really cut me into shape and gave me that nice middle part, even distribution, covers the ears enough. So it's not in your face, but it's still long in the back. Yeah. I have a certain length though that I can only grow it out to before it looks bad. Like during the pandemic when I really grew it out down to like my shoulders.
Damn, you got that long?
Yeah, pretty close to it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And that was when I also, because I had dyed my hair before, so it was a blending of like auburn, brown, and bleached out blonde.
Oh my God.
So I had like just snow tip. Yeah. Yeah. I went through a lot of phases of my hair, and then I had the comb over phase. You can find, if people want to see my hair at its absolute worst, there's a video on my channel. I know the video because it's that bad. Look up Kyle, I want you to look it up right now. It's type in Mr. Matty Plays Genshin Impact and look at my hair in this fucking video, man. It is an abomination. Above anything I've ever done.
5 years ago. Yeah, let's say that. I don't like this. I don't like out the way. Because you got the big part and this, it's
like, dude, it's like pasted on my head, bro. It screams like bro's mom still does his hair. Like it's a bad cut. So, I mean, Connor, if you want to go through the whole range of Matty hair, there's a lot you can look at. If you're, maybe you don't like long hair, Connor. Maybe you just like, take me for me, wife. I get that. So maybe, show her my bad cuts and like balance it out, Yeah,
I ain't gonna I do that like this. Like it really bothered me because like I've never seen this from this style from you. And then it's like your evil doppelganger. Like it's just like it's just like an alternate reality, Matty. Like I'm so glad you showed me because I never knew about this.
I can look this bad.
Thankfully, wifey, everything is transitioned past this part. Yes.
I was in a relationship at that point, so
All right.
This was Laylee. Yeah, I'm still with Laylee at that point.
Oh, she loves you. She like that.
That bad? She loves you, bro.
You remind me of the dude from what's the dude from Broadwalk Empire? Oh, what's his name? He was in Reservoir Dogs too. He's a famous actor. He just you look like a better version of that actor, but it just reminds me of that actor.
Dude, that's crazy. Oh, she loved you. Yeah, honestly, she did. She hung with a lot. She always said she liked my hair longer, though. I will say, wife had some influence on the playbook. So
shut the lady took.
Yeah, definitely helped me a little bit.
What's up?
All right. Well, Connor, best of luck with your hair journey. Obviously, fill us in. We'd love to hear more. All right, Cog. Let's get into the news. Let's open it up with Halo. Halo Infinite support is ending. It's been concluded with the announcement of the game's final major update, as they also state from Halo Studios that they are currently working on multiple projects in development, and that is where they are shifting their focus, such as, of course, Halo Campaign Evolved. They write, as the Halo Studios team focuses on in-development projects such as Halo Campaign Evolved, we'd like to thank the Halo Infinite players for their steadfast support. It's been a legendary run of seasons, events, fractures, and operations with plenty of maps, modes, sandbox additions, Forge tool upgrades, and incredible memories along the way. None of those milestones would have been possible without the guidance and enthusiasm of our community. Between the player lobbing stickies in matchmaking, the pros tearing up The ranked leaderboards and the Forgers expanding Halo's multiplayer mythos with remarkable experiences each and every Halo fan has helped to create this unforgettable moment. Thanks to your support, Halo Infinite features nearly endless ways to have fun, share Forge creations, and lay a Spartan smackdown on your friends. Your excitement is the lodestar for every effort. Whether you are a longtime player, a recently returned Spartan, or a brand new ally, we're grateful to have you on our fire team. As we look ahead, your feedback will continue to help us refine our goals in hopes of exceeding expectations and delivering the best Halo experiences possible. Throughout our day, we look at your suggestions, your art, and even your memes as a constant reminder of the dual commitment to faithfully stewarding Halo's legacy and forging its future. Since formally announcing Halo Campaign Evolved in October, we've been floored by the response from the longtime fans and Halo newcomers. We're humbled by the trust you've placed in us, and we can't wait to introduce new players to the iconic story of Halo Combat Evolved for the first time in 2026. As the 25th anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved approaches, we look forward to celebrating Halo's universe, community, and enduring legacy with all of you. And so that wraps it, Cog.
Cool.
Halo Infinite is done. What's the final feeling here?
Missed opportunity. You know, it's a shame because this was a weird one. As much as, you know, we give 343, aka Halo Studios, all the needed smoke for all the failures and the missteps. This one was unfortunate because the product in itself was a solid product, but how it was handled, how long it took to create it, it showed me the problems when you try to be too cool and create your own engine and, you know, what is it, the slip space or whatever it is, and how that development just really killed them. And then obviously the bad decisions with the, you know, the contractors and stuff like that, where you just couldn't put out content in a timely fashion. So this one sucks because prior to this, it was like, you know, oh, the campaign is good on, you know, Halo 4, but the multiplayer is not as good, right? Halo 5, oh man, the campaign, I hate it. You know what I'm saying? But the multiplayer is amazing and people love that multiplayer, right? And then this one seemed to be both at least solid. And I know I would say definitely the multiplayer above the single player, but the single player was solid. We got a grappling hook. We just like, man, we just wish we had a little bit more biomes before, you know, that kind of thing. So, and then we like, all right. And when that wave initially hit, remember, it knocked Forza Horizon 5 out. We were like, oh man, it's back, y'all. Yeah. And then the same maps, and then the issues, and the desync, and how long it takes to fix stuff, and no content, and no Forge mode, and all these things not available at launch, and no co-op. And we were just like, man. So that's what it was to me. This was a missed opportunity. But I will say this: I am very happy that they are ending support, because at the end of the day, it's just like, bro, move on. We obviously know Campaign Evolved. You're working on 2 other projects. My whole thing is hopefully this now signals that whatever the development process is, and if you're doing contractors, you're having people in, or you having what's that word? Support studios help. You're working on an engine that is universally known. Now that engine also has some of its issues too. You know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, what's my man? What's the guy from? Why am I forgetting? Epic's the Unreal guy, Sweeney.
That's me. Yeah.
You know, now I know Sweeney's like, yeah, the developers and stuff like that, they got to make those tools better. But at least it's an engine that the industry is more familiar with, and I'm hoping that at least alleviates the development and the content pipeline stuff. That's the main issue. But more importantly, make a good game. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think in a lot of ways they hung with it longer than I thought they would. You know, I think part of it is that they sort of had to, with how the launch went and how certain key features that were expected around the launch window were delayed, but they really did stick with it. It's a shame that it never really came back. It just never had that resurgence. Nothing they did injected that kind of life into it. It flirted a little bit with little moments here or there, but just I think when Forge came and it didn't lead to this explosion like many were hoping for, I think that was the sign that this game and a lot of faith in Halo was kind of done at that point, and that they're going to need to swing again to do something meaningful with the franchise and get people back in. And so, yeah, of course, as I've long stated, I remain incredibly skeptical of literally anything this team touches, including a remake of one of my favorite shooters ever. But I'm hoping they pull it off. But yeah, this you put it perfectly. Missed opportunity, you know, because this game, it's easy to talk shit about it and understandably so, but it's never, if we're talking core gameplay and feel, it's never been about that, right? Like they got that. It's always been down to the storytelling, their ability to ship or just polish, to not seemingly have disasters going on internally. If that former art director was anything to go by, it's like they're their own worst enemy. So, unfortunately, Halo Infinite goes down as like a really weird one, just because I think this could even look stranger as time goes on when we learn what's next for like the mainline series. Like we know they're remaking the original. Okay. But what are you doing like to follow this one up? Are you going to try to follow this one up? Or are you just going to keep remaking the old games? They're at a really weird crossroads now, but we know, of course, there's that, what they say, like Fortnite style Halo game. Right. So there's going to be a look at what's next for multiplayer. And so this kind of times out well, sunset that, transition into whatever's next there. So they're not really going to be technically skipping a beat at all with Halo Infinite and its multiplayer. They're going to likely see a surge of anything. So I'm interested to see what's next for Halo beyond the campaign remakes, and if 343 is going to shepherd anything themselves. You know, like as in like Halo 7 or
7. Whatever. Yeah. 100%. What could have been, and the last thing I'll say is just this was the game that was supposed to be on the back of the box of the Series X as a launch title. Yeah. If you really look at it, this is kind of the beginning of what set this generation awry for Xbox. If you really look at it symbolically, Halo was not ready. One
of the best Phil Spencer quotes that people use against him, but I think is true, is when we lose our way with Halo, we lose our way with ourselves. And
Phil got to get the smoke for that one.
It's true though. Like when Halo's on, Xbox is on, and so you know, I hope they figure it out. But I don't know, man. Let's talk Nintendo a little bit, Cog. Reggie Fils-Aimé did an interview at the Games Business. And he talked about all sorts of things. He talked about Xbox's move to third party. He talked a bit about console warring as a guy who was the head of Nintendo during their very best years. I was very interested to hear what he had to say on that. And he also talked a bit, we'll add in here, about Nintendo Switch 2's launch lineup and sort of why he thinks it's doing well, despite him, quote, scratching his head a bit at that move. All right, so let's start with the Xbox side of things. He was asked about Xbox and Switch 2 ports, you know, just them going third party. And he said, I'm surprised that Xbox has not fully embraced the Switch 2 from a software perspective. Certainly, some games could easily be ported over to Switch 2. And I'm surprised that we haven't seen more of that. I thought there would be much more, especially during this time frame leading into the holiday. All through the fall, I was fully expecting some dedicated announcement. I'm surprised it hasn't happened. Meanwhile, he was asked a bit about the console wars. It was kind of in light with what GameStop was doing, where they were declaring the console wars are over, and he was laughing about it. And he said, I do think that the years of direct competition are done. With a large part of the Xbox business now being publishing, by definition, they are a big third-party publisher that also makes some hardware. From that standpoint, they are no longer directly competing with the PlayStation business. He says, gamers out there have limited budgets. You have to win for every dollar spent. You need to win for every minute spent playing. And so there's always going to be a war going on. It may be below the surface, but there's always going to be a battle for attention and mind share, end quote. So that's the Xbox side of things and how a legendary exec looks at how Xbox is doing things. Meanwhile, just to add a little bit in here for fun conversation, Reggie spoke a bit about the Switch 2 launch line, which, by the way, Nintendo didn't send him one for free.
Yo, that's wild.
Which I thought was crazy.
That's crazy.
Like, they made this guy go through the pre-order process and everything. Like, really? This guy? Bro. Like, he's made you so much money and you couldn't send him a Switch 2? His family Switch 2? Like,
that's what I'm saying. We ain't got no alumni program, Nintendo?
Yeah, no loyalty, no love. Bro. From Mr. My Body Is Ready? Come on. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
But he says, from my business perspective, when I first saw that lineup, I scratched my head a bit. He said, certainly what I underestimated was the enhanced Nintendo Switch 1 content, which I think has been compelling. That stuff that you get for free as part of Nintendo Switch Online subscription, I think has helped them drive some of the momentum. And then certainly Bonanza was a key driver for them. But he said, let's be clear, Nintendo, in my opinion, will never position themselves as a direct competitor to PlayStation. It's not in their DNA. It's not how they think about the business opportunity. However, would they welcome some of the latest core gamer type content, whether it's the latest Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty, onto their platform? Absolutely. Do I think there's a player base there for those games? Absolutely. So, he's kind of going in on that third party push from Nintendo, and there's a lot to pick at here. I think Reggie's a brilliant mind, and obviously, what he says, I think from a Nintendo experienced point of view, just says a lot about the industry as a whole. So Cog, when you read what he has to say about Xbox and sort of how he's like surprised that they haven't embraced it, I immediately thought of our conversations on how we talked a bit about like dev kits and does Xbox even have those? Like, because we heard Nintendo as being a little weirdly cagey with all of that. But what do you make of some of his comments on Xbox and how there will always be a war, but maybe they're not directly competing anymore?
Yeah, I think I mostly agree with Reggie. Shout out to him. Yeah, I think as far as the war, clearly the console war is over. So they're not competing in that respect at all. They're trying something different, and we're going to talk about the lane that they're trying to get into. Who else might be trying to also join?
New challenger is a rock.
Yeah, Street Fighter. Like there's a new challenger. So we got that. But as far as like to surprise, look, I was surprised just as much as you. Like, we're like, yo, where are the ports? We thought for sure, once that Switch 2 announcement, every direct we tuned in, like, yo, definitely going to see. Right? Yeah. Here we go. We're going to see Phil. We're going to see the logo, the voice, something. And we really haven't seen it. And it's like, now we're starting to see it. It's more like Bethesda. What is it? Like Indiana Jones, Fallout. You got the Tony Hawk, I believe, from a little bit of Activision. We still didn't, no Call of Duty, right? No major. The key is what he said is Xbox first party studios, that Xbox game studios. Those are the ones we have not seen. Yeah. And so I would assume, that I guess Xbox definitely wants to make that happen. So I'm still going to run with the dev kit thing. And I do remember we had like an article where even some some independent developers would say, hey, they weren't giving us a Switch 2. They were like, hey, use the Switch 1, profile and you're fine kind of thing. So I know that was going on. So I think it's a little bit of Nintendo just being a little bit slow, maybe worrying about in-house what they're dealing with first. Yeah. And then now it's probably starting to get out there. But yeah, I think Xbox would definitely like to put games on that platform. So I think that's what it is. As far as the other thing, as far as always be a war, kind of agree what he's saying. Like, yeah, the direct competition, that's over. But he made a key point. The war for time. That will always exist. And again, in a world where we're going to talk about arc raiders, we're going to talk about like these games, everyone wants to consume that time of yours, and that's the new battle. So yeah, for sure. I think that. And as far as Nintendo, shame on y'all. How y'all ain't giving the homie? No. Come on, like what are we doing? And as far as the launch lineup, look, for me, it wasn't personally their strongest, but it was very successful. You know what I'm saying? As far as like Mario Kart at launch, that world. It did well. I'm used to them having a Mario or a Zelda standalone single player kind of game to kind of kick things off. But it goes to show you, it's like they Forza Horizon Mario Kart. It's still sold like gangbusters. You see like 10, 12 million. They are the epitome of exclusive cell consoles. Like they are the walking definition of it for them because they did fantastic. And the trajectory that they're on right now is insane. So they're doing well. I'm just waiting for the Switch stuff that I particularly like. I think I do feel Reggie on this because I like Switch ones. Like initially, like that, bro. I got emotional when I saw the Breath of the Wild. When I saw Zelda climbing up the wall, I was like, "Yo, that got me." You know what I mean? So yeah, they got to kill. They still got Bonanza. Bonanza came. It's killing it. Kind of. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with it. But I'm overall in like 90% agreement with everything Reggie's saying.
Yeah. On the Switch 2 lineup, it's very underrated. I find like. I'm not by the way, I guess I say underrated in the terms of how much I think people underestimate these things resonating with people. I think the biggest surprise was Donkey Kong, or really question mark. Like that was the one to me that, okay, can DK do really well on the big market in his own game? Kind of like, I mean, they haven't done something like this in a 3D space on a big budget level since 64, Like to me, that was a big deal for them to kind of be like, oh, we're not going to do a 3D Mario. We're going to trust Donkey Kong to sort of take us into the new generation and let Mario drive in his cart instead. Like it kind of felt a little flipped. So I found that was underestimated, but also I think people forget, like we almost count on Pokemon so much that I think people just don't really factor it in. It's like, bro, they had a Pokemon game in the launch year.
Yes.
Huge. And I know it's like a Switch 1-2 title, so maybe it doesn't count fully, but that's a huge driver for the hardware. And it's so funny to hear as we were talking about, like, is Nintendo slow on the uptake with these like dev kits or something like that? The fact that there might be like a little bit of like, oh, we're still kind of figuring out and they're selling this much is crazy, right? Like you want to talk about built-in brand loyalty and just like winning. Yeah, that's Nintendo right now. I agree with what Reggie said about the war, though, about direct competition kind of ceasing. But this was submitted before we got the whole Steam machine thing. And I've always said I think a new war was brewing on the handheld front. But now we're starting to see like little things float up, like PlayStation having the cross-buy tag.
Ooh.
Here comes the Steam machine. We know what Xbox is doing. I mean, to me, this sounds like a war for the living room across all of them, as far as I'm concerned. Of course, Nintendo will always live in their own little pocket, but I think the war has only grown in some way. It's just not the way we traditionally think about it, right? Like, PlayStation versus Xbox. It's I think grown in a way, but they're kind of tackling things in an interesting way. So yeah, man, like this sort of competition, as I'll talk about a bit with the Steam machine, I think is just so needed. I'm just interested to see how everyone responds to it, because no doubt like Xbox is going to look at that and go, oh, we wanted to do that. So we separate ourselves from that. So yeah, just very, very much in agreement with what Reggie had to say here and wanted to highlight it. Cog, let's talk PlayStation a little bit. State of Play Japan. Did you have a chance to tune in?
I did. We actually did a live reaction to this one.
All right. Well, we have the write-in from Nerfed Ninja. He writes, Dukes, is the poor response to the State of Play the result of all Sony's canceled projects? It felt like the entire world was expecting at least one splash announcement, but what's there to announce? So, general thoughts on this one, sir. Where were you at with the State of Play Japan?
It was okay. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't its strongest for me. I do like weird Sony. I do like, obviously I got that Marvel, Tokon. There was a couple of things for me, but I guess, when me and Attic were talking, our main frustration was this really was a show for the Japanese audience. So there weren't a lot of new announcements, because I don't mind weird and stuff, but a lot of stuff we've already seen before or knew about. That was my major thing. I was like, where's the new stuff? I don't mind that it's not necessarily all first party stuff and like, stuff like that. But what's interesting is while we're streaming it, I have the PlayStation stream and I'm looking at the chat and they're going in like they are. And then I saw Keely's poll and it was just like F was leading. And I was like, man. So the thing for me is this, I'll still kind of say they're still in transition. And I agree with Nerf Ninja in this respect that like unfortunately, the PS4 era has spoiled the base. And unfortunately, people expect these level of blockbuster kind of announcements all the time from Sony. And in their defense, they've set the precedent. Like maybe about a year or two ago, they were like, hey, you're only going to get 2 major first-party releases a year now. And in my opinion, and I think me and Colin talked about it, it was that it's pretty much the majority of their first party studios to me are in reset mode post Jim Ryan, post live service era. So that's why the frustration for the base is like, yo, where's the first party stuff? I know we know about Intergalactic. I know we know about Soros. What's the Returnal?
Soros. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. We know about that. Look, both of those look promising and stuff like that. But everybody's like, yo, what's this one doing? What's that one doing? Where's the games kind of thing? And obviously they got Wolverine coming, which will be big. But we're used to one more thing from Sony. We're used to like one big block, and you're not getting that. And I think this, I'm telling PlayStation, but in my opinion, you're gonna have to get used to that for a bit, where third party and other things are going to carry it. Now, what I did think was interesting, obviously we know the rumors of the cross-buy that wasn't shown there. Why y'all promoting a PC monitor, PC speakers, you are definitely, in my opinion, setting yourself up to be everywhere and other places, and the app, and that was very like, it's a dedicated PlayStation show showing PC peripherals. Like, let's just be honest. So in my opinion, that's what leads me to believe the cross-buy rumors are maybe true, because if they do it, because this is how I look at it. That 6 months to 1 year stagger in the beginning worked. But I think the novelty has worn off, the zeitgeist moment you miss, and now you're missing out on those sales, because we saw subsequent numbers where, it was kind of going down. So I think what they do is say, okay, you buy it on PlayStation, you get it in our store.
Yeah.
Day and day.
Launcher.
You come to now I know PC guys, you don't like that. But this how PlayStation gonna control y'all and be like, you gonna buy it over here. You go this way if you want to deal with us, and they get their cut, and then Steam, you'll get it when you get it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. And I think that's the way it makes sense for them. So that's how I think they're positioning it. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I the days with them with just trying to lock it down to their platform, I think that's over. I do think day and date is coming for PlayStation. I'm really, at first I didn't believe. I think they would always stick to it. But that rumor, and again, seeing, there's no reason to show monitors and speakers on PC monitors. Why are you showing it at a PlayStation console show? Like, it makes no sense to me. So they want this out there, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I get where you're coming from on that. They also, I think the crossplay is just plausible from like the PS3 gen. Like, remember when the Vita was around and you'd get like Sly Thieves in Time, and it was like, you buy this, you get it on the Vita. Or even there was a time it was like PS3, Vita, and PS4. So I imagine whatever they're doing involving the PC, some cross-buy feature, does not sound too far-flung for them, and sounds exciting. I think you've hit the nail on the head. Like, they had that kind of stagger phase, and I think that worked. That was the PlayStation special, but I think it's about, with we talked about competition for time, it's so much about like, who can you get right now? Because one thing I've really learned about myself this year is, like, for every good choice I thought I made, there was actually an even better one that may have happened a week later. And that's all you need, is to like lock someone in, right? It's like I made my choice and played Digimon. I didn't realize like a week later, Inazuma 11 was coming out from level 5. And I was like, oh shit, I probably would have played that. That would have been like, both these are great options, but I kind of like, you pick one direction and I'm like, all right, well, I'm already here. And so that's all it really takes nowadays, I think, for a lot of us, where there's just great ways to spend your money literally every week,
bro. Like,
we're at that point every week. So if you're PlayStation, the stagger and it does not work anymore, because you need to get everyone at once. Otherwise, 1 week later, they will have something else to spend their money on and pay attention to. That is the type of industry we're in, which is why I do understand when we cover like sales figures, and I get frustrated that some are like, didn't meet our expectations, because they're measuring it out. If it like didn't explode off the sales charts in 3 days and 10 million copies in 3 days, like, I get that's what you want, but some of these things do take a while on the market. But when the industry functions like this, I get why a lot of companies are behaving this way, and why someone like PlayStation is clearly changing their habits a little bit. As for the state of play itself, it was kind of up my alley a little bit.
Okay. Talk to me. What was the ones for you?
Like it was just more, I like that it was clearly going to be like, I went in with, I think, reasonable expectations. I didn't think it was great. Like, I think okay is a great descriptor, as you used. But for me, I'm into Japanese style content. Like, I always have a JRPG in cruise control. Like, I'm always just playing a little something like that. So I think it made it really clear for people like me, like, this is what you're getting into. It's all focused around Japanese teams. Yeah. And for people who aren't into that content, you're not going to want to tune into this. So I thought it was communicated well. I got to see stuff that I've never heard of before, which I thought was interesting. There was what game was it? Do I have it written down in my notes here? It was like that first person horror series. I apologize.
Oh,
yeah. They were like, and then one of them had Ascend in their title. And I was just like, what the hell is this? It's not something I'm going to go buy, but I just liked that there was new stuff in their motion rec. Like, oh, interesting. Like, you get to like put in your moves and then play them back because they've been recorded. Just some interesting little games in there. And They did have new Night Rain DLC, which was, I mean, dropping next month from Software. Like, what is in the water over there? I don't know.
Boy's cooking.
But yeah, just like a lot of little things. It reminded me a little bit of a mid Nintendo Direct. And
bro, Nintendo Direct energy for sure.
Like it really did when they were like, here are these games that you already know about, but they're coming to PlayStation. And one of them was actually a game that I was waiting on, which was No Sleep for Konami Yotei, because it was a game key card on Switch too. So I was like, all right, let me wait to see if Does It Play gets the physical.
That's the AI joint, right?
Yeah. I have some name file.
Yeah. Shout out to man Donatello. He be going off that game.
I played the first one. I really liked it. I haven't played the sequel, but I wanted to pick it up because I love the director of those games. He did the Zero Escape franchise and he's like a genius. Now he works together with Kodaka. So I wanted to support that a little bit, but like that is something I want to buy physically, like I had for the first 2 games in the series. And I wanted to see when Does It Play covers it, that'll be physical. So when I saw it going to PS5, I went, okay, cool. Like I'm excited about that. So it was like a lot of little things, nothing that got me out of my seat or like really pumped. I think that new Fatal Frame looks great. Having a release date for Dragon Quest 7 in February, that's exciting to me. Like, so I don't know. It was like a lot of little things, nothing super hype, but I think the most under discussed moment was really the finale, where we got the Japanese edition of the PS5 because of 2 things. One, at the start of this generation, a lot of this PS5 gen was shedding off Japan and looking toward the West. They shut down studios and really focused on the West. Them ending the show practically on their hands and knees, begging the Japanese audience to support them was kind of unbelievable to me. I was sitting there like, what is going on? But then they're like, we're giving you a special discount. I was like, oh, who just did this? Nintendo. So it makes it more competitive in their home region.
Yes.
You know, and I loved it. That was, to me, especially, there was just recent comments from PlayStation. I forgot which exec it was, but she was saying how they're kind of at the middle of their lifespan right now for the PS5. Like they're just getting started in a lot of ways. And it's 2025 and we've had it for 5 years and we know next gen consoles are 2027. So when I saw that, I'm like, what an odd thing to say. But when you look at how they're trying to build this ecosystem with the hardware they're showing, like not just game hardware, but like the peripherals, you kind of understand like they're trying to get everyone in. I'm looking at it for the long haul.
Yes.
And they're trying to compete with, I think, Nintendo a little bit here. I think they're trying to compete with Steam even a little bit now. Everyone's trying to be, it's about who can give you your best gaming experience for the lowest dollar right now. And so it's wise to do that. They're wise to do that, I should say. Because, you know, I talked again, I'm trying not to spoil all of my Steam machine thoughts, but like, if you can just hit the right price point and give people something that they can play, it'll go so far in today's market because everything else is so expensive and people want to play video games once they're all done with the stupid real life bullshit. I thought that was just like a really under discussed move, like the Japanese edition of the PlayStation 5, but it's also kind of bringing back region locking. You know,
good old region locking is back.
Yeah, good old days of that. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the state of play. I didn't think it was like awful. But I also did not go in thinking like if it was going to have the potential for something big, they would have just done state of play, not like a themed state of play. Right.
That's what you said.
So
you gave me with that
like
expectation.
you have Nintendo Direct, I'm like something big will be there versus like Nintendo Direct Mini or Indie or whatever, where I'm like, okay, it's got like a subtitle. It's been shaped a little bit. It's a spinoff. So, you know, I wasn't expecting too much here, but I was okay with what was there.
Yeah, I just want to add on real quick. No, I 100% agree. For me, what I loved was actually, it's rare for PlayStation to kind of, what I say, like, do the couch and you may have your man with the cardigan and he's out there. And to me, PlayStation has, you know, and again, and to their credit, they didn't need to talk to anybody, but it's like you could tell they wanted to really theme this with Japanese sensibilities and really appeal to the Japanese audience. And now it's funny for me coming back from my trip to Japan and seeing how dominant Nintendo was. PlayStation is not really moving like that over there. Like, it goes to show you the Jim Ryan focus when his strength was dominating Europe. And he got the most. And one of the things I remember speaking to PlayStation fans about, my hardcore PlayStation guys, that they didn't like is when they started removing the Japanese sensibilities from the cross and the circle button. That's a Japanese thing.
Yeah.
And really catering towards that, the West. And this is, to me, that's why this is what I will give you. I love what Hiroki Totoki is doing, getting back to who they are, catering more to everyone. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, the region lock is kind of, we get it. You know what I'm saying? Because Nintendo's doing, bro, that region lock Switch and the international Switch, the prices and how hard it is to get, it's going to create things, but it shows that they're trying to cater to their base and that their country, and they're making strides. Of course, correction is basically what I'm trying to say. So yeah, shout out to them on that part, because I understand the sensibility. So it was cool to see that. That, in defense of what you're saying, is the PlayStation I know. Yeah. That's what I fell in love. I fell in love with them with the, jumping flash and the battle arena to Shinden, and they had like all these little things and weird things, and that was PlayStation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I'm definitely that guy who laughs at current PlayStation fans a little bit, because like, the memes that always go around when a state of play is announced, and it's like bros when they don't get like the third person over the shoulder open world game, and like how they're reacting. Like, I will always celebrate weird PlayStation.
Yes.
Like, I just want to be clear about that. Like, so when I see something weird like this, where I'm like, oh, it's just like little DLC, little games, some indies, some dev interviews focused on Japan and whatnot. Like, I like a stranger PlayStation. Yeah. And I really learned that about myself with the PS5, where they were like, let's just run back the PS4. I was like, PS4 was an amazing gen, but I like that they've always been experimental, and I think they got too safe.
Yes.
And that's kind of, because again, I always say, I think PlayStation's done a great enough job this generation to win, but I think they could have literally stomped the shit out of Xbox if they were like how they usually are. They've just, I think, benefited a lot as well from their main competitor stepping on every break. So
removing themselves from
the competition. I think they are wise to make moves like this, because I think there is a little bit of good fortune in what has happened to them this generation, which I know people will be like, how dare you? What do you mean? They've been killing it. I'm not saying they suck. I'm just saying that when I'm getting Last of Us remasters and stuff, that's kind of fucking whack, guys. Like, I want
you doing nuance stuff.
No.
Careful with you doing nuance.
They're perfect.
They're perfect. They do nothing wrong. Everything's great. They're dominating. Sit.
Take my money, Toki. All right. Cog.
Yo.
Let's talk Arc Raiders. 4 million copies sold in less than 2 weeks. 700K concurrent players over the last weekend. Right now on Steam, it's at over 300K as we're recording this. Neo JD has the write-in. With Arc Raiders selling already 4 million copies, do you think this bodes well for Marathon? Thanks, and have a wait. Gene has played Monster Hunter Stories, but Maddie hasn't kind of day. Yeah, there's a lot of JRPGs out there, man. It's tough. It's tough, but I Monster Hunter Stories 3 does look good. I'll keep my eye on that one. Dude, this is I figured this game would be big, but like 4 million that quickly. I was not really expecting that, especially this is like the new genre to explore. Everyone's like, we got to get the next big extraction shooter. Well, it's arrived. Now, of course, I want your thoughts on this, Cog, but you as the Bungie guy, I want to know how you feel this fares for your team that just learned they were responsible for a loss of $200 million. The hits keep coming.
Sony put their business out in the street. I was like,
doing the public humiliation ritual,
This is literally like, bro, you said you was worth this. This is what we think you worth, and we're not really feeling you. Like, that's not good. I don't know if we had that on the docket, but that
I actually did not put it on there. But yeah, we can get into that too. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna leave with that, because it's just like, bro, when you on your company, on your financials, kind of puts you on blast as a failure. Unless, again, I hate to feel like I'm attacking Jim Ryan this whole episode, but Jim Ryan did say, like, this acquisition is better than ABK, right? This is a colossal failure. So to me, when I see Arc Raiders, right, and I see the success, and we started to hear the rumblings of the early beta, people like, yo, Cog, this game looks good. This is Extraction. Because I'll be honest, like, I really didn't believe in the Extraction genre. I'll be honest, like, for casual. I'm like, okay, I know why there's the appeal, but will it appeal to the masses? Why is everybody trying to chase this trend? And, to me, I looked at it, again, as a person who do not play these games. I looked at Tarkov as the standard. Obviously, I got a chance to interview Nikita, CEO, president of Tarkov, and they were coming up with an update. So they were like the gold standard. So then here comes Arc Raiders, and I'm like, man, this actually looks cool. But to me, I got to shout my homie, man. Shout out to my other co-host, Ibantis. Ibantis, Maddie, this is the most non-PvP guy ever. Like, when you play Destiny and Destiny have a PvP mode, he would do everything in his mode probably not to do the PvP portions of the game. He is a single player guy.
Yeah.
When Ibantis hits me up and says, yo, I can't stop playing Arc Raiders, I'm so addicted. I'm like, what? You? How? He's like, bro, I'm telling you. And he was like, I do solo queue. And he was telling me how, like, yo, it's not even toxic. People be helping each other. And this, I was like, really? And then he's like, there's this chase and this skill tree. I was like, bro, come on, ILP. You got to talk about this, because none of us had played at the time. And he described a game that sounded so fun. And I'm like, bro, they got my. So if they can get Ibantis, I'm like, you're doing something well. Yeah. He is not the target demographic. So yeah, then the addiction, and I see the clips, and it just looks like a thing. I'm staying away from it only because I know what these type of things do to my soul. Mm-hmm. And right now I have homework to do. I still have to finish a laundry list of half-finished sandwiches. So I'm purposely keeping myself out of it. And I still got to do Battlefield, but it is so impressive what it is. Now, I say all that to say this, DOJD. Marathon, I'm very worried. I'm very worried. I am terrified for them. This is the worst case scenario, because now, these guys have beaten to the punch, and now people look at this as the thing. So the only good I can extrapolate is that since you're in the business of copying, copy the fun factor and the loop. And what is it? You better take the learnings and what people love about Arc Raiders so much and implement that in Marathon to have a chance. Because I think Sony did say you're still coming out in March or whatever. That's the only hope. But I'm very worried because, that thing don't look like it's stopping. The fact that it's doing this with Battlefield out.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah. I'm not as hot on Arc Raiders as everyone else. Not like it's bad, by the way. It's just more like I'm not on the hype train. That's all I'm trying to say with all of this. As in, like, I don't care about the game. I played it for 3 hours and I was like,
it.
Yeah, it's just not for me. That's all it is. So I don't have like all of the hype driving it. And I see why people do like it. But I think it's just also, like you mentioned, like the half-eaten sandwiches. It's like my brain probably deep down's like, dude, this is the last thing you need. This is the last fucking thing that you need. But dude, I just love seeing them thrive because they made the finals, and I thought the finals was excellent. I played a lot of that game, and we have like a new hit multiplayer studio on our hands, and that's really exciting. Because even if Arc Raiders isn't like fully the thing I want to play right now or anything like that, they did this and the finals in like the last 4 years. So they'll have something new, I imagine, pretty soon, all things considered. And it's exciting to have a new studio like that comprised of the former talent of like things I did enjoy, like the Battlefront games, and what they can pull off next. Because when you see companies like this with great leaders like Patrick Soderlund, who was really behind the Battlefield franchise, or the Battlefront franchise. Sorry, I keep saying Battlefield. Spearheading this team and what they can bring to the table with, like, two massive hits. Could they do a single player game? Could they do another big multiplayer game? Like, they're breaking through. And so that's the most exciting part for me, is like, what can they do next? What can they do to push this? So I'm glad just to see a studio like this coming out, hitting 2 home runs back to back. It's not easy to do that at all. One time. So just congrats to that team, but also just as for if it bodes well for Marathon. Y'all heard me already. Like, I guess I'll be wrong, but I really didn't think the game was going to come out. It's one of those things where I was like, don't even bother showing up, dude. Like, I'm not trying to be a doomer with a lot of games out there, but like, this is one of those things where I'm like, it's over. You have no chance as far as I'm concerned. You don't. You've been beat to the punch. Your lunch got ate. All right. They're doing it better than you. One of the main hype drivers for Arc Raiders wasn't even really about the game. It was how bad Bungie did with Marathon. And it's like play test and it's reveal and everything like that. That wasn't even getting into the plagiarism accusations, right? it was literally just like, oh, this thing's not feature complete, like what Arc Raiders is doing. And Arc Raiders was like still asking for money, but it was like a full content complete package. So to me, when it comes to Marathon, I'm just like, I really do think it was just better to cut your losses. Okay, it's got the public stain now with the plagiarism. Let's just shut this down and go for Destiny 3 if we can. Like, even if it takes longer. I know it's not as easy as just snapping something up,
right?
But I really do think it would be worth the effort, like compared to what you've got here, because you know there's a certifiable level of success in a Destiny 3 or interest at the very least. I mean, Destiny's endured everything awful, so it's like even if you have like a rough lead up into the launch, like you're having with Marathon, you could still maybe find a way. But with Marathon, I'm like, I don't think you got a chance in hell.
I feel you. I'm with you. The problem is just that I just don't think they're afforded to Destiny 3. They're not afforded it. And they put all their eggs in Marathon, and it's got to come out. The only thing, I'm going to tell you, the only shred of hope they can hold on to, and this is what I feel is Arc Raiders' biggest success, more than the game being fun. I'm shocked that game is doing well at $40. That in a world with free to play, that's the only thing I can hold your head on and hope that, you've made enough course corrections and you've taken enough feedback and people love your art. My main thing with them is just that the story, like, I don't know. It just seems like I love the art style, but that's not stolen. But I just don't know what's going on. And then even people who played the original Marathon, like, this has nothing really to do with it in a way. To me, it's just like the key with them is I always feel like if you want to connect with the player, why are you doing the things that you're doing in the game in a narrative base? And I just don't connect with that part yet. So they've got their work cut out for them, but I can't dispute pretty much what you said. Like, I was shocked this thing is still coming out. I'll be honest. I'm with you, and I am still shocked that they're like, yeah, it's coming out. So it may be pushed out. The kind of thing. That's
I
the
think
vibe
it's just
from
like,
Sony.
make what you can off of this, and we're folding you into our operation afterwards. Or
dissolving you.
Yeah, I just think when you consider the money spent, the money lost, the stain that this company's been on PlayStation itself, it's just not been worth it every step of the way. So, not trying to advocate for dissolve them, but because Bungie's home to a lot of great memories, but they're not looking good. So, Cog, stop me if you've heard this one before. GTA 6 has been delayed. This time to Thursday, November 19th of 2026. This was originally coming out May of next year. It seemed like we were so close, yet now we are so far. They're saying that these extra months will give the team and the game the additional level of polish that you've come to expect and deserve. I don't really care as much as other people do because I'm like a weird Rockstar fan. Like, I'm the guy who's like, oh man, I really like Bully. But I think of games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and how worth the wait those are. But here's the thing, man. We need to have an honest conversation about just wait. Just if it's delayed, it's going to be worse. It's like, should things ever take this long? Elder Scrolls 6, GTA 6. Cyberpunk was in that category as well before it came out. Should things ever take this long? Have you not done something wrong if it's going to take this long? And obviously the end result in the case of GTA 6 maybe matters a little bit less in the context of that conversation, because it's like, okay, we have the biggest game ever made. Like we are going to have the most copies sold ever. Like we're going to set every record imaginable. Just wait. It's a little bit different because you can wait on something like that, but a lot of games have kind of adopted these decade-long waits. And I just can't stand it. It's just, like, we're only on this planet for so long. And it just feels awful, constantly waiting for meaningful things like this. Like, obviously, there's new things. We were just talking about with Arc Raiders. But there are seminal franchises that are like a Grand Theft Auto that are at the root of gaming, or Elder Scrolls that are at the root of gaming. And there is no reason in hell it should ever take this long, even if it's worth the wait. Let the artist cook. I'm not advocating shoving out the product and having it completely botched, but at a certain point when the wait gets this long, it's always going to be something. There's going to be something that isn't tuned enough. Are you telling me GTA 6 is going to come out and it's never going to get an update? They're never going to bug stomp anything else again? They're never going to add anything on top of this again? The work is never done. Unfortunately, with art, as they always say, it's only abandoned, right? But it's never done. So I just get frustrated with games like GTA 6 it's an emotional thought. But I was trying to be very clear about that. But like, I get frustrated with it because I'm like, I get it. I'm sure I'll play GTA 6 and be floored by it. But is A, anything ever worth that wait? And B, is it not indicative of a greater problem? When things this important are taking so long. Like, we'll talk about Todd Howard. Dude, I was a junior in high school when you released your last Elder Scrolls game. Fuck that. I was a senior in high school when the last GTA game came out. Fuck that too. That's unbelievable, dude. No one got those games thinking, oh man, I'll be like a father of two by the time that's unreal. So when I see these delays, I'm like, you're taking for granted I'll still be here, dude. What are we doing? You know, you got fans to take care of. This is art. This is experiences. They're important to people. So I'm glad that they're trying to make it the best they can. I'm also not a rock star dick rider though. And I'm not just like, constantly like, it's worth it. I still think there are things that they can do better. And like Red Dead 2 is a wonderful story, but its gameplay is like fucking okay. Like the missions are kind of predictable. So I'm just saying, like, at a certain point, I'm like, what are we doing? Is it like, are we upholding a status? I'm sorry, I got to get it off my chest though.
Get it off. I see it. You've been thinking about it.
Yeah,
you feel things.
I had a lot of time. Yeah, because I saw this. I'm just like, dude, this is comical. So, again, I'm sure people will have their way with me with these things. It is Rockstar we're talking about, but I just think I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's an emotional thought, but I don't like it.
No, you can be honest about how you feel. Look, it hurts when it's something we love, right? Dearly. And the in-house joke was like, sure, you're coming out May, right? We all felt it. We all felt like, there's a strong chance this gets delayed. Look, I get it. I mean, the only thing I can tell you is just that, like, one, development cycles are much longer now, yes. But to your point, 10, 12 years, like, that's a long time. I'm not going to minimize that. I get where you're coming from. But this is what I'll say. If you're a developer, you are fortunate that you can get to a point in your life where the publisher says, take as much time as you want to do. Like, I think what it is like, they are blessed. There's certain companies like a Todd, we'll get into something like that, where just like, because you've hit these massive home runs, you've won the championship of gaming, so to speak, with these games, right? That it affords them this level of grace that nobody else would ever have. And I think that's what it is. So I think your frustration from a gamer standpoint, it's founded. I get it. It's just that if I'm a developer, I'm like, man, like what's your man? Was it Levine? Yeah. If you them dudes, like you are
he's on that list too, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's like a decade. Like, we got 7 to 10 on this. We good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the people, even on the opposite scale, think about Team Cherry. Bro, we was waiting for that Hollow Knight. Bro, I remember that E3 still existed when I first played Hollow Knight. I played Hollow Knight Silk Song. What is it, 20? I still had the video. I was like, when is this game coming? Like, I was getting frustrated. So yeah, look, I get it. Hopefully, development cycles get better. It's one of those things that also, a lot of it is, let's be honest, most of these guys are the perfectionist kind of guys, and they just happen to luck out and be in these situations where they made these blockbusters, and the publisher is like, do what you will. We're going to leave you alone. Go ahead, get your van, go on, and create. You know what I'm saying, kind of thing. But yeah, it does suck for the gamer. I totally understand. Yeah. As far as the delay itself, man, this is ground zero. Get out that blast radius, bro. Mm-hmm. Get out that blast radius. Xbox, we going to have to talk.
Halo, Call of Duty,
this
Forza, Fable. There's so many games that can come out then, bro.
I got into a big fight with King on this on ILP, and I was just like, bro, he's you dropped me, bro. This is GTA.
Yeah,
move out the way. And what sucks for them is, again, I'm gonna assume Halo campaign. again, my birthday coming up this week, November 15th, right? The birthday of Xbox, the birthday, I said, there's some synergy here, right? So
no.
one would think they would like to align their Halo campaign and their 30th anniversary with the November 15th date. Now, look, November 15th next year falls on a Sunday. Not going to release on a Sunday, but if you thought you was releasing on a Tuesday, which would be what, the 17th? Oh, no. If you thought you was releasing before then on, let's say Thursday, whatever, no. You need a 2 to 3 week get out of the blast zone. You better be like November 2 or November 1. Like, you better have your 2 weeks because you need that to work. That's going, let's be honest, that's not for Xbox. That is going to PlayStation. That's what this is really about, though. The proliferation of you being a publisher and setting it off with your biggest IP. That takes the steam out of that. And more importantly, it's not even, Halo's not even the big problem, is what you said. You are the what is it, the owner of GTA now. I mean, excuse me, of Call of Duty now.
Yeah.
That's your moneymaker.
Yeah.
Oh, you better move. Call of Duty. I'm talking to you. Yes, I know you're the heavyweight champion of the year. You better move. You better be an October looking dude.
I was gonna say, it's an October card.
You better have October in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, bruh. Don't play with these guys. These guys don't come around a lot, but when they come around, and then here's the thing. When they drop, what is it? That usually that 2 months, then you get the multiplayer. Bro, they're going to dominate the entire zeitgeist and the lead up when the first trailer finally drops. Again, provided they drop. My advice, if things are ready, move up. But more importantly, what I worry about, you know how stacked Xbox year is? With Forza, we assume or hope is top of the year because we say, okay, Playground had enough time. Maybe they should be a first half of the year game. Okay, cool. Where's Gears going? Gears E-Day's a big title for them.
Yeah.
Where's Fable going?
Fable's the big one for me. I'm like,
they need more
like time for that to come out, you know?
They need the whole cycle. They need people to feel good. They're not beloved in exile and contrabands. We know, like you've always said it best. Historically, they've done great this year because they didn't do it this year, which I love, which is avoid the shotgun blast holiday Xbox. Vintage shotgun blast. Here you go, September. And they still did a little towards the end with the Ninja Gaiden Keeper. Outer Worlds was kind of close. But in their defense, the majority year spread out great. You know what I'm saying? You're like, all right, that's what I'm talking about. This was not a shotgun blast. We want to see more of that. I'm just worried about dev site. Then there's another game, State of Decay 3. Rumored, alleged, right?
Yeah.
This GTA hurts Xbox, in my opinion. I know I'm on the island on my own podcast, but this hurts Xbox the most, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
that is dangerous, bro. That is
a huge year for them next year.
Yeah, this is, you try to be the biggest publisher of the year, and here come the biggest game of the year in the biggest holiday season where you tend to drop all your games around. This is something they got to pay close attention to.
Do you think they stick with this date, GTA? Or do you think it slips to 27?
Here's my advice to Xbox. Don't delay after. Like, I remember when they did, I think Avowed did this. They ran from GTA remember they were supposed to come out like that holiday, and then they moved until like February.
Ran right next to KCD.
So there's a part of me is, if you can be, again, I don't know what the development cycles on these games are. I don't know who's ready, but if you could do like that September, October, and then get a couple of those, and maybe you may need to move one or two, but I'm just worried, man. I'm worried, man. I want them to be successful as their publisher with a console. And I'm worried that this game causes a lot of chaos. It just does.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone's going to be scrambling, but I definitely think with how big of a year Xbox had planned for themselves next year, this hurts them a lot.
Yes.
So we'll see. But hopefully GTA 6 finally comes out.
Yeah.
But if not, give us Bully 2. I would be more excited for that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Take-Two has proven that great narrative games actually do sell well. Here's the write-up from IGN.com. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick is teasing a bright future for the Mafia franchise after this year's prequel, Mafia: The Old Country, quote, performed well ahead of expectations, end quote. Zelnick spoke about the future of 2K Games' long-running open-world crime series during an interview with IGN ahead of the Take-Two Q2 financial report. As developer Hangar 13 prepares to release new content and updates following the Old Country's launch in August, the Take-Two boss teased that fans may eventually have more Mafia to look forward to. Definitely, Zelnick said when asked if Old Country performed well enough to instill confidence in to continue the franchise. We're really excited about Mafia. I think that's a great question because it's sort of a reset for the franchise. We don't have anything to announce that comes from the label, but it definitely performed well ahead of expectations, which is great to hear, by the way. This was a $50 game. Again, I think the best move a lot of these companies did nowadays, like this year specifically, was read the room quickly about what was happening with the economy and shoot low. Even if the game technically demanded a higher price tag, whether it was looks or our budget, we had to sell more copies if we drop it by $10, whatever it may be. The choice to go 50 for games like this, games like Expedition 33, of course, the most popular example, has paid off so dramatically well. And this is great to see because I think Mafia: The Old Country is an excellent game, but also this is a series that never really had, I think, a lot of issues selling well. Mafia 3 sold well, Mafia 2 sold well. It's really about selling well within their current budget. So, Mafia 3 was in development for like a really long time. Old Country also took a long time, but to see that it's ahead of expectations is great, and that there's definitely more on the way is really, I'm happy to hear this, because my worry was going into Old Country was like, this was a game that they were trying to make something bigger, like an open world Sicily, and then they couldn't do that. So they scaled it down to a more linear style Mafia game like we used to get, similar to like Mafia 2, where it's kind of like open space. And like maybe that was just like them kind of making it was like consolation, right? Like they were kind of sacrificing some of the game just to get it out the door. But it was great and it sold well. And so that makes me happy, especially because a lot of people doubt these types of games. So to see it find its way, a GTA like, by the way, I know funny enough from the same publisher, but I've also said I wish there were more GTA likes, because I know 6 will be the top dog, but I miss the days of like, you get your GTA, you get your Sleeping Dogs, you get your Saints Row, you get Mafia. Like we need more in that space either way, whether it's the wait until GTA 6 or after GTA 6 when we have to wait another fucking 40 years for 7, So yeah, I'm excited to see this. This is good news to me. So Cog, what is your read of the success of Mafia: The Old Country?
This is surprising. I didn't know it did well. And again, two things that really impressed me. One, Take-Two, in the sense of them, 2K always being known for the blockbuster style game, still going with this game. Shout out to Saul, who loves it. More of a linear style. And people said, but the story's really good. It's tight. The gameplay is fun. And yeah, I'm surprised. And to your point, I think that $50, that price point really helped. So them kind of, doing single player games, narrative based games, is impressive because they seem like a company that only wants the super blockbuster. And in conjunction with just like seeing people say, hey, it performed over expectations and we're going to continue with this series. So I thought this was a win-win overall for Mafia, man. That's good stuff. This really surprised me. I didn't expect this news.
I agree. Now, it kind of flipped a little bit because this next bit of news, I really thought these two headlines would be reversed. Borderlands 4 sales are actually a little soft. This comes also from IGN, who was, again, interviewing CEO Strauss Zelnick. They say Take-Two Interactive says it's confident Borderlands 4 will rebound after technical issues led to a little bit of softness for U.S. sales at launch. In an interview with IGN ahead of Take-Two's second quarter financial results, we asked Strauss Zelnick how Gearbox Software's September looter shooter performed. He admitted the launch was met with a little bit of softness due to the technical issues that have since become infamous in the Borderlands community, but he remains confident, quote, it'll be made up, end quote, given enough time. Those technical issues resulted in a little bit of softness out the gate in the US sales sides, but in the fullness of time, we're convinced it can be made up and will be in a great place, Zelnick said. Take-Two expanded on that in its financial report, saying the game received critical praise, with many reviewers calling it the best Borderlands yet, end quote. So, hey, Cog, those tech issues, man, they'll come get you. And
sounds familiar.
There's certain CEOs that would tell you that was
there were none.
Yeah, there were none. That this was not a problem. That it's your fault. That this is just the nature of PC gaming. I think Strauss is protecting his boy a little bit here. I do think Randy had a straight up negative impact on this launch. I really do think he took a game that was easy to support and soured it completely. And I will also say this, as someone who's put like 35 hours, 40 hours into Borderlands 4, falls off late game. It's
okay.
You just end up doing the same like 5 actions for the rest of the game. And so what felt new and exciting gets really drawn out. And yeah, it's just kind of like a shut off your brain shooter, but it feels great to play. Like I will give them that, but I definitely cooled off on this game, bro. Like I was really loving it at first, but every time I came back, each session got a little less exciting. And even with the change in tone and stuff, like that's good stuff. But it's weird. I'm conflicted because I really thought the move to open world was great. But then as you get into the thick of that content and the quests and the collectibles and stuff, you're like, oh, there's less enemy variety. Oh, there's just lots of stretches of nothing. And it doesn't run as well. And the story doesn't remain as interesting as it starts out as. And just, like it falls off, unfortunately. So I think that lack of word of mouth afterwards where, it could overpower Randy's booming, awful PR statements. That just couldn't happen because I don't think there was a ton to celebrate once it was all said and done. So Cog, your thoughts on Borderlands 4's sales and the technical state of the game?
Yeah. I mean, like you said before, both of these headlines felt, if I would have guessed you'd put me in a time capsule, I thought this would have been reversed. Mafia not do well, you know what I'm saying? And then Borderlands 4, just like a booming Arc Raiders type, success. And the fact that Strauss said it is a huge deal, and to me, I actually look at it different. I actually look at this as a little bit of the chastising of Randy publicly. Because he is literally going against everything Randy said. This is the big dog. Oh, no. Because of the technical issues, it's a little soft. You know what I'm saying? As a person who was, developing the game and saying that there's no issues and going out of his way. And we've already said it, numerous times. He did his, team no favors by being so abrasive on social media and being so defiant with people who are just saying, hey, we are experiencing issues and you are trying to tell us there is none. Now, the game itself, a lot of people love it. I played a little bit. I got to get back to it. I just was in review season. It sucked that I haven't got a chance to go back to it. But I mean, it's got to be something, though. It's got to be, to me, I look at it, it's a little bit of the technical. I mean, it's a lot of the technical. It's a little bit of also what we just talked about. Time. Battlefield comes out. This comes out. Arc Raiders comes out. So it's just tough. But I look at this statement from Strauss Zelnick as this is a little bit of I know Randy don't like this statement because it flies in the face of everything Randy was saying. So now the big dog is kind of public. He did it with kid gloves, but literally, it's just we'll make it up later. Now I do think they got a chance to rebound. They do have a strong roadmap. I saw the roadmap. It looked pretty impressive. And I'm assuming that, provided they clean up the issues that they got and they have like a new content drop that looks exciting, they may get some bounce back. But it's just going to be, as we realize, it gets tougher. It gets tougher. Wow, what you laughing at?
I went to his Twitter account.
Wait, what he do now? What he say?
This is a tweet from October 24th. Okay. I bought something from eBay after not having used the site for quite some time. I decided to leave feedback, which is positive, and noticed there was a 7-day waiting period before a negative review was allowed. I've never been an eBay seller, but I think I like it.
Oh, so you don't like the negative comments.
Yeah.
You like the way, okay.
The top reply is so funny. It's what really made me laugh. He said, people pushing bad products would love this. What the hell even is this tweet?
That's why would you say you like an ability to delay negative feedback?
Publicly, on his own.
Publicly.
Yeah, bro.
That means you are very thin-skinned. Yeah. You can't, get off Twitter, put the phone down, bro. Like, I hate to come at him like that. I don't never come at anybody exactly, but he does such a disservice. Shout out to Strauss, though. Strauss the big, though. You can't say something to Strauss. He's your boss. So at the end of the day, it was soft, dog. It was soft. Yeah. Soft, and technical issues. So we got it. But I'm confident it'll come back.
Yeah. We'll see. Dispatch. This game just got its final episodes this week. It's the kind of superhero style story. I really want to play this. I thought it looked really cool. 1 million copies sold in 10 days. Not too bad. How about that? Yeah. So this one, I was waiting for all the episodes to come out. So once I, cog, the perfect term, half-eaten sandwich. Once those are all munched up, I want to see if I can squeeze this into end of the year. But this looks good. Like there is a part of me that misses those Telltale style experiences. And I'm glad to see one of them doing really well and being celebrated. And it's apparently very, very good. So
yes.
Your thoughts on Dispatch, sir?
Same. This is a cog game. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my man Donald Talko again, who put me onto this. And I'm hearing amazing things. And it was a guy that I talked to from Forbes. I believe his name is Eric Kane. Mm-hmm. And I saw his comments and he was like, I guess the last episodes that they had, or I don't know if it's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, whatever the last two episodes.
8 total episodes.
Whatever the last 2 that dropped, I think it's 5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6 was last week. 7 and 8 was this week.
Okay, whatever it was, he was like, "This was the most emotional I've ever gotten in a video game in some time." And I'm like, "Oh, we doing feelings like okay." Dispatch, you got my attention. As soon as I am done with the things I am doing, I am picking this up. This is definitely my COD. This is weird COD. This is Telltale, super. Yeah, this is a good fight. I love the art style, and I'm hearing great things. So this is on.
I love Invincible as well, and this seems kind of in that spirit too. So I'm keen to check this out. It also seems a little more gamey, which I'm into. A little Danganronpa spirited there. It's like visual novel, but it doesn't forget that it has to be a video game too. So I like that. All right. Sticking with the sales figures. Last one goes to Ghost of Yotei, which has sold over 3 million copies. These are the official numbers. Finally, 3.3 to be specific. Now, for a comparison, IGN writes, the first comparison we should make is to its predecessor, Ghost of Tsushima. It sold 2.4 million copies in its first 3 days after going on sale exclusively on PS4 on July 17, 2020, and then hit 5 million after 118 days, which is just shy of 4 months. It's now up to 13 million copies sold, including sales of the PC and PS5 version. So we don't have an exact one-to-one comparable because this is Yotei's sales after a single month, its first month on the market, but it looks like it's doing about as well as Tsushima, which was a great game, great success. So very happy to see this, well-deserved for Sucker Punch. I'm glad they continue to not miss. Cog, your thoughts on the sales for Ghost of Yotei?
I love this. Shout out to, again, this is my this is why I have my PS5 Pro. Like literally, you know what I'm saying? And again, exclusive game. See, I do like y'all. Look, bro, like this is impressive. And I'm very happy because obviously there was a lot of discourse around this game. Let's just say that. And if you actually play it, it truly is a really good. I think she's a little bit more well-rounded on certain things. But yeah, man. Again, I just like that. It shut down some narratives. And final thing I'll say is shout out to Cobra Command. Shout out to Kyle. I just want to say shout out to him. That's all. Just for reason. Yeah, those who know LSF fan knows. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna leave it at that because I know when this came across, there's a very vocal minority that whatever. But at the end of the day, I care about video games. I care about all video games doing well. And this is literally my favorite IP that PlayStation in the new generation, since this was the one for me. This is what got me to say, yeah, I like this the most. So I love the Ghost series.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Cog. Well, you know what I love?
What you like?
Sci-fi. I especially love Mass Effect. But at least I used to, 1 through 3, still timeless. But from that point onward, it's been a rough road. And BioWare knows it. N7 Day just happened. And for those who don't know, this is November 7th, where BioWare usually puts together a little ARG teaser event. Kind of gives us an idea of what's happening next with Mass Effect. They didn't do it last year because they were launching Veilguard. Since then, we know Veilguard failed on the market, and also that BioWare has dramatically trimmed down their studio size since then. So the real question was like, will they get it out the door? Then EA was purchased, and it was really like, oh, and EA needs to clear $18 billion off their books to complete this deal. Yeah, I think BioWare is done. Well, depending on how much you want to believe their words, they put a post out on the BioWare blog for N7 Day. And Cog, I'm eager to get your thoughts on this one when I read out the first couple of paragraphs here. It says, you guessed it. I come to you with another blog. This is executive producer Mike Gamble at BioWare, by the way. But each year that I write these are important moments to reflect. I get to pause and think about how truly lucky we are to have Mass Effect and how thankful we are for the community and support we get. We've been through a lot together and we appreciate you. Like you, we've been hearing the rumors lately. You've made it clear you care deeply about what's next. By the way, this is a reference to people saying, like myself, like BioWare is probably going to go away. Mass Effect's not going to come out with this new leadership core. So he said, let's start by setting the record straight. The next Mass Effect game is in development, and EA and BioWare remain committed to telling more stories in this universe. The truth is, the last few years have been an incredibly busy time at BioWare, but currently the team is heads down and focused exclusively on Mass Effect. We have a lot of universe to cover, lots of features to build, and lots of romances to figure out. We're excited by what...
Heard that, Obsidian? Sorry.
No. After Veilguard, you do not want BioWare romance. I'm telling you all this right now, bro. I romanced in Veilguard, and it made me it completely made me feel right about everything in this world.
Oh, we still got Inquisition, y'all. We still got Inquisition.
Yeah.
They showed it could be done. Sorry.
Yeah, we love the Iron Bowl. All right. We're excited by what we're building. We promise you, when we're ready, it'll be a lot of fun to show. Until then, thank you for your patience, because y'all are thirsty for some news, and I see you looking for secret meaning in my tweets, and sometimes they do have that secret meaning. Beyond the next game, there's more to get excited about. I haven't talked about it much, but you might have heard a little something about a TV series. We've been partnering closely with Amazon on it, and we're really excited about what the talented team over there is coming up with. The writer's room is going strong, and we've got a lot figured out about how it fits within the Mass Effect canon and where it sits in respect to the new game. The show will explore a brand new storyline within the universe's timeline, and it'll be set after the original trilogy. It won't be a retread of Commander Shepard's story because, after all, that's your story, is it? So keep an eye on our social channels for more celebration and things, including a bunch of gear that they're selling. And so we go to our write-in now. This comes from Tom, the Chosen One. Buongiorno, Elusive Man Maddie, and Krogan Cog. Hope you boys are having an absolutely wonderful day. Another year goes by, and with it, we got another N7 day for all our Mass Effect-related news. And this year, it seems to be that we got an interesting doozy. It seems that BioWare and EA are going full steam ahead with the next Mass Effect, and we got some news for the Amazon TV series, and that it'll be a post-trilogy show with an original story. Naturally, I'm curious to hear what you boys think about all this hubbub. Personally, if I had to take a guess, I would say that the TV series is going to introduce us to the state of the galaxy post Mass Effect 3 and set the crumb trail for what the main conflict in the game will be. Perhaps characters from the TV series showing up in the game. Pragmatically, it's a way to gather interest in the IP and be something to hold us over until the next game comes out. Will it tie into the game? Who knows? Will it even be any good? Who knows? They've got a good opportunity to get a lot of interest before the game, so hopefully they don't screw it up. Either way, I'm a little embarrassed that after everything that BioWare can still drop an N7 day ARG and it captures my attention like jingling keys in front of a baby. You boys take care and have yourselves we might still be in the depths of despair over the state of BioWare, but N7 day still whoops Fallout's October 23rd in the ass kind of day. Very true, by the way. Very, very true. Because look at the shambles BioWare is in and how they still get people talking about Mass Effect. Damn. So yeah, give the marketing team a raise. Cog, your thoughts on EA, BioWare, and their commitment to the Mass Effect franchise?
It lives. This is Commander Shepard here. Mm-hmm. It lives. I approve this message. Listen, I get happy when I see a Mike Gamble tweet. I'll go, oh man, that man's still alive. He's still working. He's employed. Yes. I was so happy. I saw that N7. I wore my N7 shirt proudly that day. Cops a little merch, cop a little,
you bought. Okay.
I got the little sweatsuit, you know what I'm saying? They had the little sweatsuit. It was kind of tough. The joggers was kind of tough. I ain't gonna hold you. I did get weak and cop that joint there. But look, we got an ARG, a little Krogan action, you know what I'm saying? But I agree with Tom the Chosen. I'm the same way. I was just so happy to see that tweet. Just any little bit of life from this, series. Now, as far as the TV series, interesting. Post-trilogy, I like Amazon. Now, does that guarantee success? Because I feel like, obviously, Todd's fingerprint on the Fallout show truly is what set that correct. But I want to see if they take that same level of care with it. Look, I'm here for. I want to know what happens post, decision of one of the greatest trilogies of all time in gaming. which way do they go with the decision? Obviously, for all the people who ending, the colors. I'm just going to say that without spoiling. If you haven't played Mass Effect at this point, I'm just going to say, is it green? Is it red? Is it blue? And I want to know which color they consider canon, because that was a character kind of decision. But there's going to be a couple of characters that, based on their physiology of their race, should be around, right? So obviously, I'm assuming, they're going to stay away, obviously, from the Shepard story, but he will probably be mentioned, kind of thing. Look, I love this universe. I think it's great. So let's see. Hopefully, they don't Halo TV series it, and they really put the love and the care. And I guess would be my only worry with them is like special, like when you do sci-fi, I always worry about special effects and how aliens look and do things look cheap. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. Because aliens is tough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like Fallout, I feel you got, it's human, it's, wasteland. That's a little, not that it's impossible, because they could have messed up Brotherhood of Steel or something, right? They could have messed that up. But like overall, when you're in the realm of realism, I think it's easier. But when you are doing sci-fi, if you got corny looking aliens and whack looking skin, and it could get a little weird. So I got to see how that budget looking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my only concern with them, and obviously telling a good story. But yeah, I'm excited, man. We got some breadcrumbs, and yeah, I do agree with Todd Chosen there. I would like Fallout to do stuff like this.
I agree.
It gets the base. And again, I know I ripped on them earlier, but Bungie was amazing at this. Destiny community would tune in just for the little nugget, and it'd be an ARG, it'd be something, and it'd be something that'd be a breadcrumb that'll lead to where the story's going in the next game or the next and people will go, oh my, and people have cracked the code. Shout out to my man Bife Sparrow 9, all my lore dudes. Like, I love stuff like that.
Yeah, there's something to be said about these ARGs and how many companies just completely don't get it. Bethesda being the best example of it. Especially because they've chosen to have their own day. Like when you do that, it's like a rite of passage. You must have an ARG. I mean, in the anniversary edition, there's a free creation from Bethesda themselves. And like within it, there's a ton of wall decorations that have like the Vault 101 posters on them, like the ones from the GOAT test. So they're obviously teasing within it that they're doing the Fallout 3 remaster, but not enough. Not nearly enough, as I'll get into. But I'm a little surprised by the commitment. I got to say, to do this does say something. I don't think you just go and do this. I don't know if it holds true over time with the new leadership. But, like I always say, Respawn is the favorite child of EA because they did everything BioWare couldn't. Like Respawn did the multiplayer. And that's something BioWare just never adjusted to. They were never built to do that. I don't blame them for that. But Respawn did that. And then Respawn went and did single player really well. And they did it successfully with the Star Wars Jedi series, with Fallen Order and Survivor, right? Like they killed it. So they were handling everything that EA was throwing at them. They're like, oh, we got you with this new live service game in Apex Legends. They hit all 3 marks on the box, right? So you get all of that and they extract all that value from that company in turn. And it's like, okay, this is a worthwhile dev. And then you look at BioWare and it's like, okay, you gave us some of the best video games, period, of all time for me, from the early 2000s into the 2010s. For many people, that line is drawn with Dragon Age Inquisition. And from there, it has been mess after mess after mess. Disaster after disaster. And it's impressive to say after Andromeda, Anthem, that your last game was your biggest disaster, and that your biggest accomplishment with that game was just landing the plane and getting a somewhat polished product out the door. For all its problems, the game ran well, at least when I played it on PlayStation 5. But it's been a gradual surgical removal of any excitement fans can realistically have about their games. And when you combine that with the new leadership and their views on things, and I'm like, I don't think BioWare's and their views really mesh well at all. And so, that provides a conflict of interest too. So that the scaling down of the team, there's really two thoughts here that are born thanks to the world of Xbox, right? If I'm thinking Xbox, I'm thinking right now of teams like Compulsion. I'm thinking of Double Fine, right? How do these companies survive in this new we're here to make money initiative? Well, you either don't, or you're so small on the spreadsheet, you don't even really pop up in the conversation, right? You fly under the radar. I think that's the same for BioWare as a much smaller team in a huge EA focusing on college sports titles and FIFA and next big Star Wars games and doing a Marvel game. Like they're looking at all these different places. And then there's this little incubation project for the next Mass Effect game, which can be huge, but like, oh, they're not really affecting our operating costs, but the payoff if the show's great and then that'll fuel the game. Like, no doubt they probably went into the pitch room and said like, hey, look what happened with Fallout. You want to see how a TV show can hard carry a franchise?
Bro.
That's it right there.
76 says thank you.
And yeah, 76 says thank you. Fallout 4, again, I will talk extensively about it, but like Bethesda knows they're just like, we don't give a flying fuck about people like Maddie. It's like those new fans coming in won't know any better. And so it doesn't matter what the launch quality is. We'll get it ready for that show. And that's all that there is to it. And I think that makes it an easy pitch as well. Yeah, we're a small team. We have limited resources, but like if the show brings that momentum, like the hardcore gamer might not be a fan of us, but like the new casual coming in, they'll be all over us. And so maybe that's the way they survive this. I still have my doubts. I really do that they get out of this one because they've been given so like for all that could be said about the shared blame here. EA has meddled and ruined things. BioWare has made their own mess, but they have had continuous chances. I just find it so hard to imagine after all of this, they get one more. You know, I would love to see what they can do. And I'd love for them to go out swinging because I don't feel like Veilguard felt like going out swinging at all. So yeah, man, like I want the game to exist. I want it to come out, but I just have trouble believing with this new, at least there is something to be said that EA had a relationship with BioWare.
Right.
And clearly that benefited them a lot because any other time in this industry, BioWare's been shut down like 2 games ago.
Yeah.
You know, that's the unfortunate truth of it. So without that buffer and some of that leadership going, I worry about what happens to BioWare. I mean, remember, I just interviewed Dar a few months ago, and he was talking about how BioWare reported to the EA Sports division.
Yeah, that's wild.
What the fuck is that, dude?
Wild. I remember that. Yeah.
You didn't say what you want about BioWare. That's horrendous. But that's how they were treated. They report for EA Sports, bro.
Bro, that's crazy.
Single-player role-playing titles. Yeah. So, you know, I don't have a lot of faith in how they get out of this, how they get treated in this, how they get prioritized in this. I really think it's going to come down to that show. Like, I think you keep the project alive, and if the show does numbers, it's all the reason to keep going. But if this show halos it up, as you put eloquently, it's over, man. I just, you know, I hate to be that guy who's now twice in this episode talking about 2 moments, it's over. But like, there's just 2 parts where it's like, we got to be realistic about the situation here. Marathon and BioWare, I'm sorry, but like, you're on like, paper thin ice.
I will say this. Look, man, I think the fact that show exists, though, that's a big deal. That shows me that they see, the higher ups see the transmedia wave that we could catch. You know what I'm saying? Because that means you have put that on your bullet list as an IP that can have potential mass, no pun intended, potential. So it's like, now granted, yes, to your point, that's not easy. You got to nail the show, right? You have to nail it. But the fact that it's given that green light, I thought they could have walked away from BioWare after, let's be honest, after Dragon's Age, we like, all right, if we get a studio closure or dissolving announcement, not that we're putting that energy out there, we wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah.
We'd have been like, okay, that was the final call. We know that most likely going to go back to their series. Maybe that did damage to the Mass Effect series. But again, to your point, if Gamble would have just said what he said without the saying that they do the TV series, I'd be like, yeah, I believe it when I see it. But to say that you're coming out with a TV series with Amazon, that's commitment, bro. And the only thing I'm not defending EA, but I think they recently put out a statement that they try to allude that the new buyers won't be affecting creative. I don't know if you saw that.
That's a Ubisoft energy, though. Like, yeah, it's not going to change anything until all of a sudden Ubisoft forced out like their franchise lead for Assassin's Creed, right?
True.
Yeah.
True. I mean, I was just shocked that they felt the need to say it. So to me, there's again a glimmer of hope that maybe the public pressure, like, yo, you better not mess with what the essence of what this game is or these games are. So let's see. I'm a little bit more optimistic on this one only because of that TV show and the fact that it's an Amazon deal. Yeah, that's a big deal to me.
Yeah,
if Amazon got NFL football on the like Amazon is not playing right now, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, if the show is great, yeah, it's all full steam ahead. Like it's happening, but. Right. If it's bad, do you think they still weather that storm and they're like, let's get this game out anyway?
I think what it is because we're looking at it, what is it, hindsight 2020? Like we're in a timeline now where we know the Fallout TV show is great, right? But in its inception, we were worried. We didn't know, right? So it's just like, it's going to have to play out, right? We just got to see what happens. It plays out. And I think what they're hoping is, it won't be a situation if it's like, they won't know it's bad until they hear from us, right? So they're like, yo, just put it out at the same time. This is your best chance of success. And we're thinking that both are going to knock it out the park. That's how corporate thinks. We're going to line this thing up, baby. It's a rollout. You know what I'm saying? We got this in the market. And I'm telling you, they're feeling in the building. They're feeling great. You're going to judge whether or not once it releases them tomatoes come out.
So they're sitting there like counting their money.
Yeah. Yeah, that gamble them feeling good. They're like, all right, cool. We got signed off. We got another 3. You talk to the team. Hey, man, we got another 3-4 year lease of life. Development is okay. Heads down. They're feeling good in the building, but we just got to see how both products are.
Corporate talking me into it a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Love this.
Yeah, we're going to see how it happens. I'm pulling for them, too. I obviously have an inherent bias because I love, this is literally the greatest. I had it. I did the show with Last Stand Media, in front of everyone. Like this, Mass Effect 2 is the greatest, game of all time for me. And the trilogy is the greatest trilogy of all time. Shout out to Mass Effect 1 guys and 3 guys, and gals. But yeah, this is amazing. I just want this thing to continue. There's nothing like this game.
I agree. And I mean, the tough part for BioWare is, have you looked into games like Exodus and The Expanse Osiris Reborn? Like, that's the tough part, is like now it's been long enough that competitors have spun up, and some of them are OG BioWare guys who worked on Mass Effect, who are directing their own Mass Effect-like game. Exodus is the one that like everyone's looking at. I think that could be huge. I truly think that could be huge. And maybe a high tide raises all ships, but you now have... we're talking, dude, people are stealing lunch this episode, man.
A lot of lunch stealing.
There's a lot of lunch being eaten off the table and like, I think this is another example of like, if one of those games delivers, I think it affects Mass Effect in not a great way. So, yeah, man, there's just options aplenty. So we'll see. Got another delay here. This one's for Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. Skydance writes, at Skydance Games, our goal is to deliver unforgettable premium games that honor the characters and worlds we're fortunate to work with. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is an ambitious project, and we are committed to ensuring it meets the level of quality that our team players and fans expect. To fully realize our vision for Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, we've made the decision to shift our release beyond early 2026. We're grateful for the passion and support from the community and players around the world. The team is working hard to create something truly special, and we look forward to sharing more with you as development progresses. So, yeah, no window, just beyond early 26, nothing at all. How are we feeling, Cog? How are we feeling?
I just wax poetic about I don't mind delays, but I have to admit,
this one hurts
because isn't this? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this Amy Hennig's game?
Yes.
I'm like, can we get an Amy Hennig game to just come out at this point? Like, I just want to play one of her games just to, ever since the drama. You know what I'm saying? Like,
she still got it,
Yeah, does she have it? Does she not? And it seems like we can't get a game. It's just always something, delayed. I just hope this comes out and there's no issues. Whatever. So that's just me. My selfishness, emotional cog. Can one of her games come out so I can play and see, what the whole thing is about, man. That's what it is. And I remember this being tied to her.
Yeah, that's the main reason I'm interested. I'm kind of marveled out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I've dabbled in comics, but that's really been it. But this game, like, all we have is that one cutscene to go off of. We really know nothing at all. There was that like light gameplay leak that from a build of like, I think it was 3 years old. Wasn't really much to go by. But I would love nothing more than for this game to kick some serious ass, but we got to see it soon. I'm hoping it gets like a trailer at the Game Awards or something along those lines to just kind of tee up whatever their new release date is. But that's another delay there. Meanwhile, in the world of Xbox, Silent Hill 2, which by the way had its DLC teased by some of the lead actors for the game, appears to be coming to Xbox on November 21st. So not too long now. It'll be available in a standard and deluxe bundle. Plus, there is a Silent Hill F bundle. This was spotted by Aesthetic Gamer, aka Dust Column, who's been in on a lot of Resident Evil related leaks. But he spotted on the Xbox store the date accidentally leaked again. For those who are interested in Silent Hill 2 Remake, it's coming to Xbox November 21st. And I imagine this will probably be at the partner preview program that's coming sometime this month that Jez Corden reported on. But listen, y'all, I'll tell you this right now.
Talk to me.
If you have never played a Silent Hill game before, please. Like I don't think I'm annoying enough about this game. I really don't. Like, Lies of P, Maddie?
Yeah. Oh, you in that bag.
Yeah. Like,
okay. You like me with DBO.
like this is art.
Yes.
And Bloober Team hit a fucking massive home run here, I think. They improved an already generational story. The acting is incredible, but they figured out the gameplay, which was the main blocker for Silent Hill.
Yeah.
And they have rightfully been rewarded with not only another Silent Hill project, but also great sales. And funny enough, when Silent Hill first came out on PS2, it did not come to Xbox until later. And when it came to Xbox, it came with DLC, which is what I think is about to happen again here. So yeah, please, if you have not played this, I know there's a lot of things coming out. This is like some of the best 19 to 20 hours you can spend on a game. Like it really is. Like it's a story that I played for the first time 3 years ago. I still think about, I still quote all the time. Incredible soundtrack. It just a like borderline perfect video game. And just it'll make you want to check out everything Silent Hill does. I've gone on and played 3, played some of the original, played F, of course. F is in my top 3 this year. It's competed for Game of the Year. Like there's some days I'm like, when I sit down and do my list, I'll know how I feel. But there's some days I do think I like it more than Expedition. Like I think Silent Hill is brilliant, and we just don't get games like this nowadays.
We got F like that, or we got
F like, I mean 2 definitely. But
okay.
F like that, like it really is thought-provoking and interesting, and they just don't make games like these nowadays. Silent Hill holds a very old spirit that when you play it, it's a thing you feel and you recognize, and it's art. Like it's just the meaningful character design and how everyone's not just dressed to look cool or enemies are dressed to creep you out, but they're creepy because it means something to that character. All these games carry that, but
psychological horror.
But 2 is really where everyone goes to because it is like the best story for sure. But I think all of them have been fantastic from what I've played. So just, if you're an Xbox player and you're listening to this and you haven't gotten around to it, I know second class citizen treatment makes you not want to get around to it. I get it. But like this game is special. Please check it out.
Yeah, for sure. And again, the rumors are that, again, according to Jez and Windows Central, potentially partner showcase, maybe Play Anywhere. And what I'm also hoping is if it is that, because I'm Team Play Anywhere, that I heard one of these showcases might be a showcase of Play Anywhere titles, and I'm hoping that's true. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't confirm that part, but I'm just hoping because I want to see more of that. But yeah, again, better late than never. I love that games still that were missing the platform in the past are coming to the platform. That's all I care about.
Absolutely. So that's coming to Xbox soon. Let's talk Nintendo real briefly. They're using game key cards for first party now. Who would have seen this one coming? And this is a claim that they have broken a promise So Nintendo's Japanese website currently lists Pokemon Pokopia, the kind of Animal Crossing style Pokemon game, and its physical edition as a game key card, while the same information is not shown in the United States. But obviously, game key cards, for those who don't know, has proven to be very controversial for Nintendo, simply because people want to own the games they purchase. And game key cards come with zero of the convenience that would usually come with digital, and all the annoying shit that physical has that has driven people away from like getting up and putting the physical card in. So it's like no one's really winning with game key cards. But Nintendo stated that previously that it had, quote, no plans to use game key cards for Nintendo developed titles, end quote. Something that fans are pointing out and saying, well, what about Pokemon? Well, Pokemon, as IGN does mention here, is not a solely Nintendo-owned franchise, and so it is a little bit of a loophole. I was talking with Micah about this, though, and we were both annoyed because we were like, yeah, like, this is the one Pokemon game that actually looked like they were trying something new and different. It looks fun and cute, and I'm kind of in on it. But it's a $70 Pokemon game key card, unfortunately. And so I find that to be a bit of a bummer. So my physical brothers and sisters out there, March 5th, 2026, when you decide to buy a Pokemon game, even though we've all sworn off doing that, but we lie to ourselves about it, just know you should probably just go digital. So that's my public service announcement. Cog, any thoughts on Nintendo kind of playing a fast one? Like, oh, well, we don't really own it, so, you know.
This is definitely that gray area hustle. You know what I'm saying? I get it, Nintendo. Listen, that's one thing about them. When you make great games, it's the ultimate deodorant for bad practices.
Deodorant.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, they get away with murder, Nintendo, sometimes, man. It's just, like, hilarious to me. But, yeah, this is not, you just get the prompt. Basically, just a prompt to download the game, right? That's what it is. There's no physical nothing, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. And yeah, granted, it's not completely first party, but you just worry that doesn't set a precedent. Yeah. That's my main concern.
All right, Cog. Square Enix has undergone more layoffs, and they dropped a new roadmap to kind of indicate where they're headed after all of this. So let's read the article from IGN. Square Enix is undergoing mass layoffs today, impacting potentially 100 individuals alongside a broader effort to consolidate its publishing organization and focus its development work in Japan. This is via public posts from former employees as well as confirmation from internal sources. IGN has learned that employees in the UK and US are being informed of the layoffs today, and it's a possible 137 jobs at risk in the UK, which under UK law, Square Enix must undergo redundancy consultations to see if any jobs can potentially be saved. So that number in the UK can be a little bit smaller. As for the number of US employees laid off or dismissed by the end of this week, it is currently unknown. But Square Enix shared a statement with IGN saying, quote, we are reorganizing our operations in North America and Europe to strengthen our development structure and to drive a globally integrated marketing strategy. This is an extremely difficult decision made following careful consideration and analysis by our leadership in order to best position the group's long-term growth. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to the talented team members who will be departing the company for their significant contributions to Square Enix during this period of transition. We remain committed to treating each individual with the utmost respect and providing extensive support throughout this process. Now, as part of this, we know Square Enix has been really leaving the West, right? They got rid of Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, Square Enix Montreal, like all of these have been gone. They laid off workers last year in their Western operations. IGN notes this, which I think just puts it all into perspective. When you think Square Enix, I imagine franchises like Final Fantasy come to mind. Square Enix Western titles are Life is Strange, Outriders, which we now know the sequel to that was canceled. Oh. Bad choice, by the way. Really fucking bad choice. And the Just Cause franchise, plus the publishing of Power Wash Simulator. So not much to do from Square Enix here in the West. Unfortunate about the layoffs, but I'm framing it in a way where it makes sense to us why they're doing this. Again, sucks because I think when Square Enix had teams like Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, like they were doing some really cool, interesting stuff from Deus Ex and so on. But now we look ahead, right? What's the roadmap looking like? Well, this is all captured very nicely by PureXbox.com. And they say the folks over at Square Enix have put out a progress report today on the medium-term business plan for the company and includes a small tease of what's planned ahead for the future in the terms of a roadmap. One slide mentions how Square Enix is in the midst of a 3-year rebooting plan with notable upcoming releases, including, pay attention to this, Octopath Traveler 0, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, and The Adventures of Elliot the Millennium Tales, which is from the Octopath team as well. This is their kind of Zelda-like title. After those titles have launched, they don't want to talk about specific games right now, but apparently we're going to see several large-scale titles based around key IPs that will then become consistent from fiscal year 2028 and onwards. It's also mentioned that the company is trying to shift from quantity to quality. And so elsewhere in the report, they say there's a greater focus on the company's multi-platform strategy. And they point here to major titles like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, 16, Romancing Saga 2 as well is in the mix. Beyond this one, they say one of the parts of the report that's getting media coverage is around Square Enix's desire for 70% of QA and debugging tests in game development to be automated by the end of 2027. The company is working with Matsuo Laboratory at the University of Tokyo to try and improve the efficiency of game development through the AI technology. Okay. So, Cog, when you hear all of this, you see this focus to Japan, focus on AI, and some of their kind of key titles as part of the reboot being, OG Square Enix titles or HD 2D style games. How do you feel about looking ahead for them? Of course, we know there's another era of, another entry of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. We know 9 Remake is effectively on pause right now, but that's one that's somewhere in the can. So when you look at what's coming up for them, how are we feeling about the way Square Enix is moving right now? Oh, you're muted, by the way.
Thank you. Definitely a course correction. Almost similar to Sony in a way, only in the sense that, let's get back to these core franchise, these smaller franchises that probably are less expensive to make, as opposed to these super everything's AAA crazy budget type games. They took a lot of risks last generation with that kind of stuff. And I think now, again, when you look at the sentence, also greater focus on multi-platform strategy. Mm-hmm. We're trying to get the bag. We're trying to get to more people. The exclusive bag by itself is not enough. So that's another thing. The other thing is the Q&A part. That is interesting to me. You correct me though, I don't know their games to be super buggy, but I would say my main issue with them is optimization.
Yeah.
I feel like optimization on PC and certain things. I remember 16, Jesus, man, I was getting tight with them on that one.
I think you're right. I can't off the top of my head. I mean, the most famous buggy launch they had was 14, but obviously they've wiped that which
right. Yeah, they definitely did that. So yeah, for them to kind of zero on that and then talk about, using AI, which is obviously a sensitive subject for a lot of people, is interesting. You know what I'm saying? I hope this is, improves process in the tooling, but, and not at the expense of jobs, which is, everyone's biggest fear. But yeah, they are course corrected. This is all course correction. And I just want to say, as far as the layoffs, man, that's I'm just tired, bro. I'm tired between them.
Sure.
What is it? Microsoft, EA this year, Amazon recently. It just has not stopped and it will not stop. And that's the thing that's just so frustrating. But overall, I think what they're doing is the right track overall, what they need to do. And you need to be a publisher that puts your games everywhere. You need to go with these small. The Octopath Traveler 0 looked beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That looked really good. Yeah. And a lot of these games, tactics, that voice acting, it's amazing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing that doing well. They're going back with Dragon's Quest. And then, like I said, I've always, my prediction with the Final Fantasy VII, it's got to be everywhere, man. You need, you can't be, I was very happy to see it on Switch. That's a big deal. Yeah. Coming back home, the Switch, that's a huge deal. Obviously, it'll become the Xbox as well and PC. So, this is overall, I think, the right call.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what 3 years of rebooting look like to them when they're planning this consistent release of large scale titles by 28 and on. I'm wondering, of course, you don't have to worry about whatever the 7 remake team is doing because they have just figured something out where I think we might see this at the Game Awards. I really think that they're that already on the bend with this one where they're ready to start talking about it and showing it because, the fact that Rebirth was made as quickly as it was and was such a, like, they didn't even have Midgar in that game.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. And that game is dramatically bigger, higher quality. It's, I mean, what they have done there is unbelievable. So part of their reboot there is like, just take it to the moon, right? Like, this is all accounted for.
Yes.
What I find very interesting is part of their reboot is focusing on these HD 2D titles. This really says something, because when you look at how they've performed, it's been exceptional. The Octopath Traveler series has reached 5 million sales across 2 entries.
Wow.
Which is really good. Like, that's what a lot of folks laughed. I mean, Colin famously laughing at the name, of course. We all thought that name was crazy. Yeah. This isn't marketable, but that art style is so powerful.
So good.
Dragon Quest 3 Remake selling millions of copies. 1 and 2 is already doing well. And it's given birth to a whole brand now, where it's like, now they're doing the Adventures of Elliot. Live Alive did well. That was a very niche game, but it did over 500K. Square has found something in this genre, and it's given birth to a whole slew of retro style titles that originally didn't have a chance in hell. Think about in those 2010s, did you really see, until Octopath did its thing, a lot of pixel art games?
I would agree.
You really didn't. They completely transformed the game with what I still call the best breakthrough art style in gaming. Like, it really changed everything. It brought the modern feel to pixel art. It'll, to me, be one of their greatest achievements as a company ever. And so when I look at part of their reboot is like featuring Octopath Zero, featuring Adventures of Elliot, I'm like, they really believe in this. And they haven't even touched the ones that we think about. Final Fantasy. A lot of people immediately go to FF6, but why not remake the first one?
Yeah.
And the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one? Like, they haven't even tapped into the true raw potential of the HD 2D art style, which is bringing Final Fantasy to life with that old yet new feel. So I bet that's what they're building up to. And obviously they'll continue this with Dragon Quest. They're going to remake Dragon Quest 8, no doubt. Like, it's going to be an interesting time. If you're a JRPG fan, I do feel like Square has figured it out.
Yeah.
And they were in a frustrating pocket earlier in this generation to the end of last generation. I am not advocating for job loss. I'm not saying that they had to do all of that, but I'm saying their focus on Japan and kind of that, what we talked about with PlayStation, and return to like, this is what we do well. I am very optimistic about, because I mean, outside of, what was that shitty Bubble game? They did that, right? Was that them?
Oh God,
Foam Stars.
Foam Stars.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like that had to be the moment they had that meeting and went, "What are we doing, guys?" Like, because that had to be the cutoff, right? That was like 2021 or something like that. But
what was the other agenda? Forspoken?
Yeah. Forspoken. I forgot about that.
Bad bag for a minute. And again, it goes to show you, everyone. This is why I got to give Nintendo the most praise. Like, everyone is now copying the Nintendo playbook in a sense of like, yo, these smaller games that don't cost as much, but attention to quality and cost. It just, we don't have to blow the budget and go crazy. Everyone is calming down in the industry. The wave is over. We tried to catch the bag. We thought we was going COVID chase those projections, and now we're back to normal. And this is what we're going to have to do to survive for sure. But they're doing it in a great way. I agree. Those games are high quality.
I'm very excited for Octopath Traveler 0 next month. I did not enter this year thinking I get a new Octopath game, so I'm excited for that one. I know it's
demo out.
Yeah, demo's out now.
My boy Flame is playing, and he going crazy.
Yeah. They have a character creator, town builder now. Like, Octopath Traveler 3 is going to be fucking incredible. I already know it. Like, because 2 pushed it in so many ways I wasn't expecting. 0 now has the character creator and all this extra shit. I'm like, what are you going to do for 3? I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
That's the one. They got one.
Yeah. All right. This last bit of news is brought to you by me. Trails in the Sky Remake second chapter to launch next fucking year. Oh my God. All right. This comes from Falcom's financial report. They said that it is set for the release of the fiscal year ending September 2026. Let's talk, man.
Trails.
Let's have a talk, because I've been putting y'all on this for a while, and I told everyone they move different. I said they get games out unlike anything you'll ever see. And I harassed Brad, for the LSM fan who wants a little inside baseball. Yeah. I harassed Brad a little bit because I knew he's been fucking putting this game. And I told him, Don't sleep because this is coming out. They're going to do a remake way quicker than you ever expected. So I nudged him. I want the LSM fan to continue to nudge Brad. It's very important Brad feels the heat and finishes Trails in the Sky Remake 1. He was giving me a little bit of that, I'm just kind of taking my time with it. We know we've done this long enough. We know what taking my time means in podcast speak. I've used it before. And I'm taking my time. I'm playing something else probably. That's what's happening. I'm not I'm not taking my time. I'm ignoring it is what's happening. So yeah, man, here they come. This was one of the highest reviewed games of the year, rightfully so. It was really the come up for Neon Falcom. And what's so impressive is the second remake has more playable characters, a decent amount more areas. Like, given how much they pushed the cinematics in the first remake, I think like just handling that alone, some of the fights in the second game are fucking crazy. Like if you like the first one, the second one's one of my favorite RPGs, JRPGs of all time. It's a incredible game. It is worth the adventure of the first one alone, just so you have all that context. But yeah, man, don't sleep. Get that shit done because next year they're going to do it again. And Falcom's crazy enough where they live in their own world so much, they'll drop this right next to GTA 6. so catch up now. Catch up now.
This is dope. I'm happy for you. I was like, he's eating right now. This is big deal.
Life is all about balance, right? Bethesda has let me down catastrophically. So many companies, Xbox has let me down catastrophically. But my Japanese homies, like Neon Falcom, have picked me up so tremendously. You know, Capcom bringing back Battle Network for a little collection, then Star Force. Thank you. This means a lot to me, man. So I needed this. This is great to see. So shout out to Falcom, Cog. Let's talk about what games we're playing.
Yes.
Fill me in, dude, because once I get going, it's over.
I know. Look, I'm kind of boring because I've been taking my time with a certain game, not because I want to, but because unfortunately, another game that I can't talk about has really been dominating a lot of my time, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about that. But yeah, man, like it is. It's really taking a lot of my time. So it's been unfortunately like the two games that suffered the most was Ghost of Yotei, which I had to literally stop, which it took everything to pull me away. I was just so in love with this, man. And I'm like, man, this is going to have to be my December game now, Yotei, because I'm going back to it. Don't get me wrong. And it hurt because I'm like, man, I wanted to be part of that spoiler cast and everything. It was just a wave of games that I'm playing. I'm like, man, they all coming at the same time. There's nothing I can do. So this, with Outer Worlds now, how I'm playing is I've done every companion quest. Now, I've done pretty much almost every task and side quest, and I believe I am a mission or two missions away from the end. So I am close, but it's just that I wanted it done to be able to talk to you about ending. I'm mad because obviously I'm playing other things, but look, this is my assessment.
Yeah, let's hear it. I'm so eager.
All right, so as I'm getting close to the end, okay, the gameplay loop is still so addicting to me. The perks are getting way more expansive based on the level that I am, and especially the science one that you can lean in to, like the N-ray scanner. Right now I'm playing like this N-ray scanner build where when I'm going, I see the enemies, it'll snitch out if they're hostile, what they're doing, what weapon they're doing. And then my companions right now, it has devolved into Marisol and Tristan. Those are my two. Now, don't get me wrong. I got two very honorable mentions. Shout out to Inez.
Yeah.
Shout out to Inez. I think she's probably the strongest character written in the game.
I agree, yeah.
When she talks, she controls the screen. She jumps off the screen.
Good. Yeah.
She's just so more believable. Tristan at first became like a parody character for me, and at first I was a little angry with him. I'm like, you're getting on my nerves. I thought you were going to be something else. But then when I did his companion mission, without spoiling, it's interesting to see when someone's faith is broken or something. And I thought the way he handled it, and since that mission, here's the interesting thing. Since that mission, they're starting to do what I missed from Dragon's Age. Remember when you walk in the world in Dragon's Age, Inquisition or whatever, and like the party members would talk amongst themselves?
Yeah.
It seems for whatever reason he has an awakening now, and he's a chatty patty now. So like he be getting into it with I'll be like, oh, I like this, because he was going at it with Niles one time. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So and they like the fuck my team, because Marisol is like the old OG, and she be ripping him like, you're just stupid, like you're an idiot, you're dumb.
Keeps it real.
She keep it real with him, and then he's like a lovable idiot. But he's still not my favorite guy, but I have grown to love him more as it. But I will say Inez is definitely. Now here's my nitpick. I feel as I'm getting close towards the end, they're like speed racing me on companion quests, and I feel like those should have been spaced out a little bit better. I feel like they're like, okay, you did one. Okay, this one's ready to do their companion question. Yeah. And it's kind of slightly breaking the immersion, because you know how these games are. We've got this existential threat that we're supposed to be handling. But yo, I know we don't got time, but can you take care of my personal business right now? You know what I'm saying? What it is normally I don't mind it. It's just that when they're like back to back to back to back, all towards the second half of the game. And I'm like, that should have been spaced out a little better, in my opinion.
Sure.
But I will say this. Man, some of these factions, bro, these factions are so well written. Some of them are so, like the Order of the Ascendant is why is everything gotta be scientific? They gotta have numbers with everything. And it's just so over the top. Well, the mathematical equation, and I don't know, because, and like, even when you speak to the NPCs, I would have time to you, but you know, my 0.5 seconds right now, it's just foolishness. Like it is just laugh out loud. They dive into these factions, something ridiculous. And then who's the other one? Obviously Auntie's Choice. You know what I'm saying? Like the corporatism, the foolishness, the marketing, it's over the time.
Did you go with that?
No, yes. And I will say their world, wow.
Yeah.
That was impressive. That gave me, damn, well, I don't want to say, because Starfield kind of did that from someone else. Remember when we went to Starfield, we went to Neon? Like those big, you know, those type of planets? So it's like, it's a theatrical thing. You're like, yo, I'm at the Auntie's Choice joint. Like this is, it felt good kind of thing. So yeah, side quests have been cool, but the star of the show has been this gameplay, these weapons. Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
Bro, did you get the joint that you shrink them down?
No, dude, like I said, my whole playthrough, I didn't hit a single science weapon. It was unbelievable. I didn't get a chance to use any. My skills were either too low and that's why I said it's a huge compliment to the game. I love the loot in the game without ever touching the main draw of the unique loot. So yeah, I didn't get a chance to mess with any of the science weapons.
Bro, I got this joint. It's called Big Bang. It take like 20 seconds to shoot this gun. But if I get this shot off, I am eradicating everything in the room. Like, it's so funny. You don't even see body parts anymore. You just see the dust particles.
That's funny.
So the drawback, it take a minute. But if you get this off, bro, it is hilarious. Some of the weapons I got, like, again, so good. I got this mallet that use shotgun blast. Oh, I got a silencer shotgun that not only does it kill you, it eliminates the body so that no one can see. Bro, the weapons in this game are god tier. Bethesda, you got to come to the front of the car.
Yeah, bro. See, you know what I'm talking about. I had the same energy. I hated to do it, but I was like, dude, this is like not even close anymore.
You've got to look at what Obsidian's doing. Like again, this goes back to my Avowed stuff. Like I remember them weapons. But I will say Outer Worlds takes it to another level. They're just so good. Do you read the flavor text?
Oh, yeah. It feels so personalized. And hey, Cog, how do you feel about them looking differently from the other things you're picking up? Doesn't that make a difference when you get it? You're like, nice, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Feels good. Then shout out to the decryption boxes that have I got these shock weapons, bro. I could take over. I could hack auto mechanicals from a distance and disable them. Like, bro, the design. Then we're not even talking about plasma, the different elements. Like, bro, it is so much fun. And then what I'm doing, I'm gonna be honest. Another reason why it's taking so long for me, Manny, I am addicted to clearing the map. The quest could be like, yo, go to the north.
I did the same thing.
I'm like, but what's that over there in that little corner though? And then next thing you know, 4 hours went past. I done found some secret facility. Bro, did you find them? Did you find the mental refresh place?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you do
Yeah.
Did you do the joint when you went to the institution in the loony bin and they out there, bro?
It's the amount of thought that they put in. Like, a lot of the thing that I think the game does well is that you hear about these things and then you get to see them.
Yes.
You get to actually, like, they give context visibly and interaction wise. And it just adds so much life to the universe. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, pretty much, like I said, my only nitpick, like I said, was the comparison. I want to see how they land this plane. And again, as an Avowed lover, I know I'm the lone Avowed guy here, but I still feel, damn, them Avowed biomes, man, it's still better. Yeah, because like outside of like Auntie's Choice, I like Praetor, the lightning planet. That planet is kind of crazy, but I feel like I'm not like the worlds ain't grabbing me like how, and maybe it's just because I'm just biased towards like fantasy.
I think that the best they've done so far is that first zone in Avowed. That was like the best. They had like the town. It was open enough. It was explorable enough. The loot was just out there. Yeah, they did really great with that.
Yeah, and I'm just talking about, even I know what you're talking about from you're talking about like a complete experience, right? Yeah, I'm just talking about from like when I jump into a biome, and even the one that people don't like, the volcanic one. It just, there's something about the way
that's fair.
That art team and that background team on Avowed is just, and remember the last, before you did the Sabadol thing, that it was very lushy, very, you know what I mean? It's just something about those environments, and it's just something about these that, they're colorful, but I don't feel like these worlds are like grabbing me unless you go to like
think of Golden Ridge when you step
out. Golden Ridge is cool.
Yeah, when you step out, bro.
Step out was dope.
Oh, bro. I was like, what is going on? I was like, I feel like the developers swapped souls here. Like, this is crazy.
I'll give you that. And I'll give you the joint with the bridge, with the thing. I don't know. That looked crazy. Like, they got little moments, but I'm talking about like the world of I just love it, man. I don't know what it is. You got to look at that art. I'm telling you, whoever that background team is, and them dudes, them environmental design guys, whoever those guys are, they need to be permanent for all of what I just feel it was just a level. That's my only critique, but everything else, I don't want us to just slap somebody. Like, it's not even, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, this is true RPG and the perk system. And now the last thing I'll say, my companion, Tristan was getting on my nerves because he would run into the battle and just get slaughtered. And now the builds I have, bro, he's got an energy shield. He comes in there anytime. I got stuff that anytime he gets a kill, I get health. I got all these crazy, and then I got my leadership. They're doing more damage. Like, I'll be like, go get him. And then I'll be in the back sniping. And then I got a joint with Marisol. If I use the end scanner, she gives me a bonus. It snitches on them. And then I got everything is my whole builds. Everything's about crick spots and weaknesses. Yeah, bro, I'll be one-shotting dudes from across the map. Big mechs with all like, bro, my builds are crazy. Like,
the build crafting in the game is incredible. It really is a ton of fun. But when it gets online, like when you're like full level, everything's built out for that last like 5 to 10 hours, it's unreal. Like, you're just like, wow, I'm just cruising through this thing now.
I'm cruising through it now. I feel like now I'll be looking for the beware out. Like, I'm going over there. Let me go clear these monsters out. What's up? Like, I'm that dude. So now that's why it's taking so long, because literally every aspect of the map I'm clearing out to go get it. My experiences there. I'm almost 30 before the end. So yeah.
There we go. Nice. All right, Cog. Well, I've been doing some gaming myself. When I was sick, I was playing Digimon Story Time Stranger. I got a little bit of the Pokemon fever this year, but couldn't really fall in love with Pokemon for obvious reasons. So a lot of the Digimon community, I got recruited, Cog. I was a free agent, and I already walked everyone through my process of like, I was Yeah, I had to make a business decision. Literally, I was like, Square, I'd like to review Final Fantasy Tactics. They chose not to answer me after 5 emails. That's fine. So Bandai was kind enough when they reached out to me without me ever contacting them. We're like, hey, here's Digimon. We really think you'd like it. I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Great choice. I have really liked this game. For those of you who really have that monster catching itch, Digimon Story Time Stranger does everything that Pokemon once did, except way better. It's as imagine a world, truly, like this is the best sales pitch I can give you, a world where Pokemon respected you and actually tried to move things forward in a way. Digimon still has some issues, like it shares some of the art tech issues that Scarlet and Violet shared. Like if, you know, the LODs are kind of broken at a certain distance. So like you'll see those, how I would describe like low frame rate animations in the distance where they kind of look like 1, 2, 1, 2. Like it has a little bit of that I think some of the Digimon communities sort of averting their eyes from a bit. But that aside, it shows what else they did here that manages to overcome that. When you try, you get rewarded by your audience. First off, soundtrack slaps. Second of all, this monster catching system is so addicting. So you get monsters by fighting them, and each time you fight them, it automatically scans them. Once it's at 100%, you can just scan them into your party. Or if you wait till they're at 200%, you can scan them in, and then they'll be like the highest possible level. Like it'll maximize their talent. So once you do that, then you can start digivolving them depending on what their stats are. If their stats are in the right place, they basically have this version of the Chow Garden called the Digi Farm. You bring them to the farm, you hook them up with like a boxing bag, and you have them work on like their defense or their attack or their spirit or whatever it may be. You get them to work on a stat. Once their stat hits that kind of prerequisite, you can then evolve them again. And so the game becomes this meta game of like cycling in your Digimon from this farm into your team. And that feeling of like, I just hit agent level 7 last time I played. And every time you hit a new agent rank, like new evolutions are available. And I spent like 30 minutes, bro, in and out of the farm, evolving certain Digimon, putting some in like, oh, you're not ready yet. Okay, I'm going to put you to work. I'm going to take you in. And when you evolve them, they go back to level 1, but they have a new move set. They have a new baseline of stats. You can feed Digimon to each other so that you can level them up. So it's like there's this meta game that's very, very compelling, very addicting. The story's pretty solid, I would say. It definitely, at this point now, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it's getting overly predictable. Where I kind of like they fell into this time travel gimmick, as the name would suggest, Time Stranger. Which is funny enough. I'll say this for those who want a deep Matty cut. If you've watched my Trails Through Daybreak 2 review, you'll know what my critique with this time travel story based thing is, which is like it's in its comfort zone right now of like we're going to keep doing that thing over and over. So the story is solid. It has some moments where it's genuinely dark, which I appreciate. It's fully voiced, which I also appreciate. And the presentation of some of these cutscenes are legitimately fire. Like they really push it.
Anime style.
Yeah, they really push it.
Anime.
It's rewarding a fan base that's been with them for the last 2 games and giving them something where it's like, wow, I can't believe how far they went. For me, who's a new fan, it's enough to get me in. The turn-based combat is tactical, and you get to make a lot of moves in the same turn. Like you can use an item and then take a move, or you can switch out your Digimon, use an item, and then take a move. Like there's lots of actions for you to take. It has great quality of life. Like you're able to, fast forward your fights if you're trying to quickly grind for whatever reason, which I've never had to do, but you can do it that way. Or if you're doing just the side quests and you're like, I want to buzz through these real quick and get back to the main story. The game lets you do that. It feels like it's got an answer for everything I really have with it. So it's been time well spent. About 45 hours deep now, and I'm ready for it to end. I'll be honest. Like I'm ready. Like it's there now where I'm like, okay, and I think based on where I'm at with the story, by next Duke, I'll be done with it. But I think the main reason I didn't finish it is, a certain game took me away from this to do my job. And then I got put on another game in turn, which was Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 again, which I'm now just like, I've been radicalized so much here. Okay. So Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. Cog, what have you heard about this one? Just as a sort of starting point here. I just want to know.
I didn't know about this until recent.
Okay.
And then I watched your video. And I watched more feedback in conjunction with it. So I don't want to talk too much because this is definitely a moment, but
this
wasn't anything I was really interested in, to be brutally honest. I was just surprised it was coming back. And then when I saw what people were saying, it was a little eye-opening to me. So I'm going to let you have the floor because I think you have a lot to say.
Yeah. So let's start with Samus's Toilet with the write-in here. He says, what's good? My definitive anniversary game of the year, all DLC, Dukes. This week, Fallout 4 was given its anniversary edition release, and to no one's surprise, including Maddie's, this was another misfire. I haven't been too deep into the current Bethesda lately. As I finished Starfield, I haven't been checking on them, but I'm wondering just what the hell is going on over there with Bethesda. Unless I'm missing something, Bethesda seems to be getting Starfield's next expansion sorted, Fallout 76's next big update is imminent, and Elder Scrolls 6 is on the way someday. I get these are big things for the team, but seriously, how hard is it for people to make Fallout 4 not crash on my PC after 10 years or have load times that load quicker than my bowel movements? Make it make sense for me, boys. With that being said, though, I hope you're having an Xbox turn off as your Xbox shuts off mid-COD match kind of day. Samus, thank you for writing in. Okay. Yes. So what the hell is going on with Bethesda is the exact question I'm asking myself. This is like, they have really squandered every bit of hope I could have for them as a company at this point, because 76's launch date speaks for itself. Of course, Wastelanders was a great comeback, 76's comeback, but again, you have 76. Starfield's a game I do like a lot, but I also have a lot of issues with. It holds a lot of the key problems I had with design choices made in 76, and that really began with Fallout 4. And then Shattered Space, I mean, it's awful. Before that, they broke Fallout 4 with their next-gen update and then abandoned it.
Forgot about that, you're right.
And now
they didn't fix it back
they did not. And this was the update to fix it. 18 months later, they broke a 9-year-old game, and 18 months later came back to update it for the 10-year anniversary, which, by the way, this is a special game. Not just, I have strong emotions around the game because it was like my come up, to be completely transparent.
I respect it.
But also, like, this was, I mean, Todd even says in the interview we're going to cover next, this was the game that changed Bethesda forever. Like, this is the game. It was the game that changed how release dates were handled in our industry. It was the game that put Fallout on the mainstream map. It was the game that got Fallout covered by ESPN. Like, it sold, 10 million copies in its opening weekend? Like, this thing was a force. It was the follow-up to Skyrim. This deserved to be celebrated because its 10-year anniversary happened to fall on the same year that season 2 of your TV show is going to happen, and Burning Springs is doing its thing, and 76 is on a good path. But if this is how how Bethesda treats things that they do care about, again, I don't want to know how they treat things that they don't care about, because that's what I sincerely felt. I know there's probably a million people inside Bethesda who watch my content and hear the shit I've been saying lately, and they're like, how could he? He knows we care. I don't see it. I don't know how in the world you tell me you care about your fans when you hide the pricing for this update. You don't give us any details on this update because you know it's bad. And then you drop it on people the day of the anniversary and you fuck up the game more. So just before I get into the update itself, I just want to make it clear that Bethesda is like completely stomped me out. Like, it's completely changed how I'm approaching their things, because this is like the 4th time it's happened. I've been really fucking patient. I've given them a ton of grace. I am not Mr. They're going to fail, but it's now at the point where Elder Scrolls 6 has to earn it. It's not like given default excitement like it's been before, which is different for me. I love this company, man. They make my favorite games of all time.
I know.
But dude, I mean, I don't even get to talk about Oblivion Remaster much because the game barely fucking works on my PC, you know? So part of
they fixed either?
No, they abandoned the fixes on that too. So
wait, they stopped. I thought they came out with a patch.
They had a patch that was for the difficulty, and that was for some of the crashing, but the stability, the frame rate, that sort of stuff has been left unaddressed. And their last update, I think, was July.
Okay.
So it's been 4 months since. So again, a part of my opening rant before I talk about what I'm playing here, but like, yeah, dude, this is like, to me, one of those moments where I'm like, you took a perfectly fine game and have butchered it. Literally, like you took it, splayed it open, and left it on the table, unfinished now. So Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition drops on Fallout 4's original release date of November 10th. It comes with the Creations Bundle, which you can buy for $20. And it's all of the old Creation Club content that everyone kind of revolted against. Like it's all the whatever reskins and paint jobs and maybe a new item here or there. Mm-hmm. Nothing great, though. Like I've played most of this stuff, checked it out for my job. All of it was very overpriced, and it still feels, even as a collective, overpriced. So just to be clear, none of this is including the new style of creations that Bethesda has brought in.
So that's not in there.
The big thing with this update was the creations, though. But before you could even get to that, you have to get through the initialization process through BethesdaNet, which was broken for me. So anytime I fired up the game, it was trying to connect me to their storefront, and that wasn't working. This was immediately disheartening because I just interviewed the guy last year, Todd Howard, and he was insisting like their games aren't really live service like, but I'm like, that's some live service ass shit, dude. I'm trying to play my single player game, but I can't get through the initialization process because your storefront needs to be online for me to play. Like,
so if it's not online, not to cut you, but if it's not online, you can't access the content?
Because when you fire it up, it just had the Vault Tech logo and it was just kept loading and saying initializing. So you can't press any buttons there. So that's not the case where, to my understanding, I could play this offline. But in that instance, I was unable for a while to get through.
Got it.
Then you go into the creations menu. The creations menu is broken. Like all the thumbnails are still loading constantly. Like they're just on loop. Like the storefront's not ready, clearly. The presentation's terrible. You finally break through all of that. The content itself, I download one by one, by the way. So there's 120 items from that creation bundle. And for me to test it all, I had to one by one install it.
No group
patch. Nope. Oh, none of that. Okay. So then I get to the new content. I install that as well. Bethesda made their own creation, Entail the Beast Hunter, another official creation called Become Bounty Hunter. Was also there for 600 credits. So I spent $10 to have the amount of credits to get that. So I've spent $30 on this thing. If you want Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition's upgrade, though, as in you have the base game, but you want all the DLC and the creation bundle, it's $40 now for a 10-year-old game, which is fucking insane. And they've made a new SKU called Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, which is $60, which comes with all of this combined brand new. If all of this was half price, I'd probably be a lot more quiet about this. All right. So jumping into the content itself again, the creations bundle is not good because all of it's like, I called it Fallout 76 like content when it launched, where you were just like reading notes. And it's like, oh, that fuck, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to store my knife in this trash bin in the heart of the Commonwealth near the Herald. And it's there beneath like a blue sign, but I'm writing this down because that makes complete sense. And so you go, okay, you get a miscellaneous objective, you run, loot. Oh, there it is. Nice. New item acquired. They're just, the implementation of them is lazy. Like they're just not thoughtful in how they're adding things to the world. They're just kind of filling it with garbage. And then the new style creations, which, to break it down for people of the eras, the problem people had with Creation Club when it first launched was that Bethesda was charging people for something they were already getting for free through mods. But on consoles, in fairness, they do have a mod section where you can get most of this content for free. But now modders are incentivized to go sell their stuff because they've created names for themselves and they have every right to make a living. So I don't really argue against that. But that was problem number one. Problem number two was this system was so confined. Modders couldn't make new areas. They couldn't make new quest lines. In the case like Fallout 4, where you have a voiced protagonist, they couldn't make new dialogue or interactions or anything like that, unlike Skyrim, which has much better creations from their Creation Club era. So there's that era of creations. That's the $20 bundle, and it's terrible. Then there's this new era I played, Become a Bounty Hunter, Tale of the Beast Hunter. This is the era of creations that kind of Starfield supports, like big quest lines, new planets, new voice actors, like real meaningful additions. Or what this funny enough, the same studio that did the amazing Watchtower quest line for Starfield with its creations did the Bard's College mod in Skyrim, and that was also really good, fully voiced, $10, really just pushed the limit in incredible ways here. You don't get that here, but that new era of creations has potential with the right teams. What you get is Tale of the Beast Hunter, which is a 40-minute quest line where you like run into a dungeon full of like Fallout 3 posters in it, and then kill a beast hunter who has a Lucky 38 jacket that has like a Death Call pauldron on it and like a torn up NCR helmet. Like I defined it as a 70 or a Fallout New Vegas wet dream style piece of apparel because it's just like, oh my God, it's all the things I fucking love about the best Fallout game in one, and just like put it in a nutshell. And that's what you get out of that. It looks cool. And then you also get in Become a Bounty Hunter a full quest line with like actual new animations. Like you see your character like putting on the outfit, like he twirls his gun when he takes it out. Like modders have done this stuff in the past with their free stuff where they add these little quality of life enhancements that bring the game to life. You can see the attempt was made. What I was most curious about with these Fallout 4 creations was they seem to have figured out how to get either Brian T. Delaney and Courtney Taylor back or work these voice lines out in a way. I don't know if AI is involved, but work them out in a way where you can actually get a voiced protagonist to do these lines in Fallout 4 and then in turn expand these creations. Now, I've met both Courtney Taylor and Brian T. Delaney, lovely people. And I was super excited because Fallout 4 is where I met them. And I was like, oh my God, they're coming back to the thing that like brought everyone together. This is such a big project for all of them. And they, you know, for all the critique that the voice protagonists get in Fallout 4, I think they did an incredible job, you know, but when the lines are like, how can I help? What do you need? Yes. You know, there's like, I'm like, I think they just dubbed and cut the lines from the base game and made their own very basic, this can fit anywhere type sentences.
Right. Like one note.
Yeah. So very underwhelming in that regard. And that quest for $6 was over in like an hour. Just not good enough. And that's the problem I have is like, this is a special game and a special anniversary. And there are so many examples. Again, CD Projekt Red starts coming up in the conversation again, where it's like, hey, Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, when like The Witcher was coming out, like had a whole new quest line. They dropped a next gen update. They gave us new weapons and armor. They did all this stuff for PC. They worked with their modders and then paid them, and they dropped all this extra content for free on top of it. Why can't you do that? Why is it so fucking impossible for this developer to understand what their fans want? Which like they just continue to ruin the game by touching it, because every time they touch it, mods break. And so now they have to update again, because again, the thing I haven't gotten into as well is they introduced more tech issues. When the next gen update dropped, my loading times went from like 30 seconds tops to 3 minutes. And I have footage of it.
Oh no.
Yeah. Now, as I mentioned in my anniversary edition video, I was like, they improved it. It's like a minute now.
Okay.
That's terrible, dude. This game should be running
the world of SSD.
SSD. Like this should be running way fucking better on my PC. I can barely tab out of this thing, man. It feels ancient. It's bad. Yeah. And I don't say any of this lightly because I obviously really like their games, and Fallout 4 is a special game to me, but like they need to feel every bit of the heat, because I'm like, this is the definition of we deserve better. Like I looked at this and I was like, this is how you view me as a fan? Like I'm just supposed to eat this type of bullshit up? Like that's really what you think of us? Fuck that, dude. I cannot emphasize how insulting I thought it was when I was playing it. You know, I don't use that word because I'm usually like I'm the consumer. Like, come on now. I don't like to play that card. I think it's cheap. But like that was legit. Like I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing there? Like, what are you doing? I don't look at this at all and feel you've celebrated anything. Not just because like, oh, some things are broken, but the things that you did that are new, even in their best light, are not enough. And it goes into a deeper conversation of the acceptance of losing. It's a loser mentality, literally, because Bethesda themselves knows people do not believe in creations.
Okay.
They know this because they've put a price tag on a thing people previously had for free. And I get that. Part of the reason I support the idea of creations is because it can give the modders who have worked for free an actual job to do the thing that they were maybe born to do. I think that's awesome. And I like that Bethesda has made a platform for that. But why hasn't there been a massive push of, we know people don't believe in this, so why don't we give them a reason to believe? Nothing Bethesda has officially done themselves, nor outside of Kingath Creations, who did, again, those two quests I mentioned earlier in Starfield and in Skyrim. Nothing they have done has made this a system that has convinced you it is worthy of existing, only that it is worthy of extracting money out of you and likely the fans of the TV show who don't know any better, who know it's official content. And then, more. This is, wow, they made this DLC. Bethesda does not give a single fuck if you think it's from them or not. They know you'll spend more here, and the economy there is broken. Someone was charging $8 for a perk overhaul. This is what they've allowed. You know, meanwhile, again, let's go back to CD Projekt Red. Hey, guess what happened when Cyberpunk dropped its $30 expansion, which is $10 less than the anniversary upgrade? They gave you an overhauled leveling system for free as part of Cyberpunk 2077 2.0.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, dude, you guys are so inexcusably behind on everything. Not just like what everyone talks about, like technology-wise. And I can't believe Bethesda games look like this. I don't give a fuck, dude. It's not even about that anymore. You're so behind on what your fans want. You have dropped exploration in one of your latest big games in Starfield. You're behind on what your fans want when you return to the thing that you just don't have to fuck up. Like
it's tough. Yeah.
Quality of life enhancements in Fallout 4 are easily done without content. 76 is proof of that. 76's Pip-Boy is great because what happens, Cog, when I'm going to pick up this here, I'm going to pick up this here. In Fallout 4, what happens is this goes into a laundry list of items. And you have to scroll through all of them to find them. If you, God help you, if you pick up a note in that game and they're like, read the note to progress the quest, you have to
say, damn, you got to do the long scroll?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Whereas in Fallout 76, what do? They add a tab called new. You pick something
yes.
Up,
sorting.
Yes. Like, new. There's the item I just picked up. Or better yet, for Fallout, there's a note section, a holotape section. Great item sorting. So when I'm questing, it's not a pain in the ass. But heaven forbid you jump into these new creations with, like me, a 200+ hour save file active. And all of these quests, because they don't have voice acting or characters to interact with, are all driven through read the note, insert the holotape. It is painful to play. It is the first time I played Fallout 4 and I got angry because I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? And the quality assurance is even there because, for example, like the item naming, the actual name of the item in your inventory versus what the quest calls it are oftentimes two different things. So there wasn't even a level.
We don't have that. We don't have that one-to-one name.
For example, we'll use the we'll use the paid one, the bounty hunter one. When you kill an enemy, you collect their finger, and so when you go to deposit the finger, that's when you get your reward for your quest. So the quest objective was like, deposit Giuliani's finger inside the mailbox. So I go to mailbox. I'm like, okay, Giuliani's finger. I go to the G's. Where is it? I have to stop my game, stop my recording, open up my own recording file from OBS and watch myself scroll and learn it's called Bounty Finger Giuliani. And I'm like, oh, starts with a B. You know that thing of Drake? Like, that was me. I was like, oh, okay. That sort of shit. So I'm like,
but if we would have had that new tab where any new item, right or there. Like when we play Outer Worlds, we go, like they'll put, obviously it's different with Outer Worlds because it's a graphical representation of an item, but they would have that green star indicator to see that these are the things that you just received. Yeah. And now I know on this whole page, okay, these things that are glowing, these are things you just recently touched.
So to wrap it up, when I started talking about 76 in a positive manner, I knew all hope was lost because this was like that time that I got into sports betting and I found myself watching basketball. I fucking hate basketball, dude. And I found myself watching it because I was like, oh, I'm gonna make some money off of this. I was like, what am I doing? And with Fallout 76, I'm like, yeah, 76 is really figured out. It's great. What? Damn. The best part of this franchise in a game form right now is a live product And it's not even that good in the scheme of things. It's really not, unfortunately. It's good enough. But that's not what this franchise is known for. It's been born from greatness. It's been more than good enough. It's been excellence. And I hate that the best parts of that potential are found in a live service game and a TV show. That's not what this is about. And so returning to Fallout 4 was an easy win, which, to round it out truly, is what was needed by Bethesda. They needed an easy win. Why do they need an easy win? You're heading into Elder Scrolls 6, and I have beat this drum since Shattered Space that everything you do right now is mounting toward that. Whether you want to act like, no, that's Elder Scrolls, this is Fallout. It's a Fallout problem. Wrong. It's a Bethesda problem. So when I see you putting out Shattered Space like it's A-OK, I see you breaking Fallout 4 like it's A-OK, I now look at your next thing in Elder Scrolls 6 and I'm like, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do? I look at, hey, I'm not looking for things to complain about, but I look at how you approach Starfield. Upgrade your PC, and the PC features aren't even ready at launch, unlike what happened with Oblivion Remaster. I'm like, are you going to launch Elder Scrolls 6 with nothing ready for PC? Like, you know, ultra wide support just came to Fallout 4 last year. Like, are you going to launch with that, with something like Elder Scrolls 6? Like, the list goes on, man. They've been their own worst enemy. It's just unacceptable. As much as I love Todd, love his brain, think he's a great dude. Legend. Like, dude, shake it up. This is not the team you built. This is a fucking shell of it. It should not be this low. At the very least, everything Bethesda does should be good. It should be. You have been afforded a mountain of resources and incredible IP. Everything should be at the very least good. You have Xbox at your back, and you got the silver tongue at the lead in Todd. Todd can talk anyone into fucking anything, bro. Like this guy is so deeply respected in this industry, whether people agree with that or not. He is. Yes. And he carries that weight where like people specifically pitch to Todd in that building, because if he gets behind your idea,
what's up?
Exactly. It's over. It's happening. That is the level of power the man carries. So that's why I say, like, Todd's got to fucking get the team in order, because there's no reason why they should fail this consistently, whether it is shrinking the focus or whatever. I don't know, but it should not happen this regularly. And I pray that Starfield's DLC shakes something awake in all of us where it's like, okay, Shattered Space and Fallout, like, or I see Elder Scrolls 6 for the first time and I go, there was a reason the sacrifices were made this whole time. That's the thing I'm hoping for.
That's where I was going, because I had a couple questions for you. And
yeah, I'm done now. Sorry.
No. I feel for you, because this sucks, right? No one wants to talk about, like, you know, I know this sucks for you, because like, I know how much you love this friend. This is literally your favorite franchise. And there's no excuse for what is considerably like I consider these are the layup games. Like, this should be a layup game, right? A game that when it comes out, you go, they just, you know, remaster and everything. This slow lift. There should be no issues for the most part, right? So I guess the two questions I have, a couple questions. One, because I'm trying to figure out, like, what could this be? Why is this happening to them, right? Why does this keep happening? So do you think it's a situation where it's like a QA problem, where they don't have enough invested in QA? Because it seems to be like things are always buggy, broken, you know, launch. Or do you think, obviously they came from the layoffs and stuff like that, it's a resource problem? But to in your defense, they had these issues prior to the layoffs as well. So like, what do you think? What do you think potentially could be? Is it like, why is the QA and the technical stuff always like an issue?
My read, it's kind of, people are going to like the answer. My read is they're spread thin. Like, I really think if they consolidated I think they're spread thin by the business needs. Like, they have the opportunity to make a lot of money, and they are making a lot of money, so they're not going anywhere. They're almost too big to fail. And it sucks, because I feel like the answer is like, we'll scale up. But this is why we advocated for, like, if Bethesda can't handle making a Fallout game, you don't invest in a live Fallout game and then proceed to dedicate half of your entire studio's force to the upholding of that live product. You outsource the project to another team, like an Obsidian. It's the combination of being spread thin and bad choices, bad stewardship. You know, they were great stewards of the Fallout brand into Fallout 4. And you could argue they still are, to be fair, because of the show. Fallout's never been bigger. They are successful in that regard. But to me, it reads like they are kind of the Game Freak of themselves. As in, Game Freak has the most high-grossing IP on this planet. But they are afforded a budget of $13 million to make their newest Pokemon game that just came out. So with Bethesda, I know that team's small compared to most AAA teams. I look at that and I'm like, do they just have a really low budget, low resources, and they just are able to pull in crazy money? Some companies do prefer it that way. Obsidian's a great example of we budget our projects extremely low and expect them all to fail so that they never do fail. And so that's why games like
low investment.
Yeah, that's why games like Avowed, people are like, how the fuck are they doing another Avowed? I'm like, well, probably because they budgeted Avowed really well and it likely actually did pretty good for them. And their standards are very different from like, we sold 3 million copies. It did not meet our expectations. So I'm giving you a long answer, but yeah, I think they're just spread thin. And I think they're not focusing on the right things. Like Fallout 4 Anniversary, you know, deserves a team's attention, not probably like a splinter force of like 5 people in their community, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, one thing I was going to add on, you know, the things that I noticed was, you know, I thought it was very interesting that like, and I hate to use the word predatory, but I just felt it was not acceptable that if I didn't know better, and I, like, for example, I own Fallout and all the DLCs, and then this comes along, like usually, you know how you get a new game and it'll be like, okay, because you own For a Harbor, it's -$5 or -10. And the reports I'm hearing is that you can make the mistake and double buy, and there's no protection from that. And I didn't like that. We got to call that. If that is true, this is what I've been hearing, right? That is unacceptable. And then the second thing, why is this not in Game Pass? I thought this was a first party.
They did the same thing with Skyrim Special Edition and the Anniversary Edition. Yeah,
it's not okay. Gotcha. So I thought that was interesting. That was interesting. And last thing I'll say is this: and again, I'm not justifying bad behavior, bad practice. What's interesting to me, if they keep doing these kind of, like the Anniversary Edition, whatever, it almost reminds me of the classic Todd quote, where it's like, you know, why you keep doing this, right? I guess my question is this not for us? And they have the data to say, look how many new people bought Skyrim blah, blah, blah edition and Fallout blah, blah edition because, you know, it's the wave and you guys keep buying it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering, are we enabling the behavior because they have the data? Well, not us per se, but you know what I mean? Like the casual gamer is like, oh, wow, you know, Amazon TV show's out. Oh, is there a Fallout game? I want to check it out. Hey, I'll be right back because my bell's ringing. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, because like I can only speak for myself. Like I remember in the lead up to Fallout 4, I bought a ton of merch. Like I went crazy on the merch. I was also 18 in my defense. But a good example of Bethesda thinking like it's going to be the same good old times like that was the Fallout Day stream. They're like, here's a bunch of merch. And I bought none of it. I guess you could argue, but this is before Fallout Day. I did buy this big action figure here. For those who are the video viewers, it's a Brotherhood of Steel action figure from McFarlane Toys. It's awesome. But again, I did buy this before my Bethesda crash out, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's an enabling. I think it's more like what Cox said earlier about it not being about us is accurate. It's something I've said in 2 videos now. This whole anniversary update is not for people like me. It's for people like your dad, maybe, who you know is getting into Fallout and he's watching the show and he's like, I want to try the games out. Oh, what's this Anniversary Edition? It's just the newest one. Okay, cool. I'll take it all. Like that's who they're going after. Sincerely. And when you look at the show and how I think 60 plus million viewers in 18 days, something crazy like that. Like when you see how many people that show managed to reach, people like me and you who are listening, who love Bethesda games, shrink by comparison to them. But that's why, hey man, it's not all about YouTube viewership, but I was very happy to see that my review of this this anniversary edition is at almost 400K in a single day. You know, it's not even about like, oh, I made some good ad revenue on that. It's like good. People care. People see this and they have awareness of this. And that means that when someone goes to make that purchase of the anniversary edition, they're like, Dad, no, don't. Mr. Maddie told me that shit sucks. That's all I'm hoping for.
You do your civic duty.
Yeah. Because it just is not something they should get away with as far as I'm concerned. It just is predatory is the right word. I don't use that lightly, you know, but it is that stink on it where it's like you hid the prices, you surprise drop them. You had 3 SKUs. The creation bundle is intentionally undefined as including some of the new content, anniversary upgrade, read to me like it was all of those creations, by the way, not, oh, it's all the DLC and the creation. So I almost accidentally bought that. I can only imagine how many hundreds of people probably did buy that.
Right.
And then a whole new SKU that gets the new fans coming and going like, oh, that Fallout 4 is now it's at its launch price now 10 years ago.
Wow.
With this anniversary edition, which adds very little new content. And it's not even like, again, it's one thing if they added new creations in, then you could balance it. But like, this is adding the old shit in, you know?
The last thing, as a person who comes from this, like the way you love, you know, Bethesda kind of reminds me of how I love Bungie.
Yeah.
And I remember when Bungie would have these moments and the community would be like, yo, bro, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Why are you charging this? What are you doing? And I remember back then, and this is what my last question to you before we move on is that I'm wondering, based on the climate, is it something they feel they have to do to survive? Because like we would have these issues with budget. We'd be like, bro, how come all the in-game content sucks, but Eververse, you making us, all the fly stuff is in there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm wondering because of the client, again, we're not making excuses for bad behavior. We're just trying to understand why companies we love do stupid things or things we don't understand, right? Yeah. So part of me was like, and over time it came out a bunch of like, man, well, they needed that money. Again, not justifying it, but you know what I'm saying? Because they're so trapped on how much things are costing and how much the spend is. It's high because with Bungie, the thing was the burn rate versus how much. So again, I don't know. You know better than me as far as like, you've been tracing them more than me as far as Bethesda. So I'm just curious if these are decisions that are motivated by, yo, we got to get this back. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta keep not to keep the lights on, but like we are spread thin. This is low lift. Put it out and we will deal with it later because we got to answer, you know, to keep things going.
30% quota, right? You know,
it's that 30% energy. Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I mean, it would be a weird thing to do because I feel people don't understand how much their games like sell every year. I mean, like Todd said that Fallout 4 this year alone had 12 million players on it.
Yeah.
This year, 10 years away, like before the anniversary edition. And it's not sales, but like that's likely hundreds of thousands of people who have bought it this year. Like their games regularly sell. They have incredible legacy and mind share and love. And they're also like one of those rare companies that you repeat buy, like, oh, but on PC, it's a different experience because you can mod now. And that's why the creations were exciting to some because it was like, oh, I can be a console player and mod my experience. But yeah, I mean, it'd be such a weird thing to impose on the company because they do make a lot of money. Like,
but in a world where the hood has pulled up. In a world, again, I'm not saying that they could just be messing up. I don't want to be clear. I want to be fair to you. This just could be all self-imposed, but there's the foolishness. All I'm saying is that if there is a world where they are pressured and we just have to admit they came off of the ZeniMax major layoffs, right? And from my understanding, it wasn't just, it affected other parts of Bethesda as well, right? Yeah. Am I correct? Yeah. So again, I'm not saying it's one-to-one with Bungie, but as a Bungie guy, I know, like now, like anytime Destiny puts something out, it's always broken. It's always like, okay, they're gonna fix it the next patch or whatever and stuff like that, because there's less people, less QA, and more pressure. And again, I'm not making this. I don't know, but I'm wondering if maybe that could be factored into.
They didn't get hit hard by the layoffs, to my understanding. Okay. Yeah, the thing is they've always been protected, and understandably so. They make a shit ton of money, and I imagine their operating cost for a AAA team that has the likes of Fallout and Elder Scrolls and Starfield is not much compared to like what a Call of Duty or an Assassin's Creed or those like types of franchises are. So yeah, I think it's a mixture of everything. Like I do think they're spread thin. I do think greed's involved. I do think it's a little bit I don't give a fuck. Like we're too big to fail, and like this is going to target a different demographic. And I do think Xbox might be putting the squeeze on them a little bit, but like I don't know, man. It's just
I'm getting a full feeling of more self-imposed with you. Like this is them, because your strongest argument, in my opinion, is that even before Squeeze and all this was still kind of going on.
Yeah.
Prior. So.
Yeah. It's again, I don't react like this if it's like one time, we're human, right? Sometimes just stupid choices are made. Companies lose their head, whatever it is. Like it's okay. I'm one of those people like, I will let you know my displeasure, but it's okay. I think Obsidian's a great example. Like I did not like Avowed, but I didn't lose my head over them. Here we are on the other end of it. And it's like, great. Okay. Like we're good. With something like Bethesda though, again, it's the next gen update. It's the Starfield Shattered Space. It's the anniversary edition. Cuts. It's like, it's not even say 1,000 cuts. It's just big swings. Like these are big fuck ups in my opinion. Like, and so they need to do better. And I can only hope Elder Scrolls 6 is phenomenal, in spite of all of this. Like we can talk about it, but that wait's going to be crazy, and got to make it worth it.
No doubt. I feel you.
Cog, time for some good news. Number one, Valve has announced 3 things. Indeed, they can count to 3. They have announced the Steam Machine, the Steam Frame, and the Steam Controller. To put it in a nutshell, your Steam Frame is your competitor to the Quest. It's a standalone PC headset. So Valve's entering the VR space in more ways than one. Then the real big one is the Steam Machine. This is Valve's attempt, again, to break into the living room. Just like all of these machines, similar to the Steam Deck, your whole library carries over. But the Steam Machine has the following specs. For its CPU, it's a semi-custom AMD Zen 4 6C with up to 4.8 gigahertz per core. Then the GPU is a semi-custom AMD RDNA 3 with 28 CUs at 24 or 2.45 gigahertz at a max sustained clock. It's got 16 gigs of RAM, 8 gigabytes of video RAM. There's going to be 2 models for this Steam Machine, a 512 gigabyte SSD and a 2 terabyte SSD. Again, very similar to what the Steam Deck did. Both of these models will include a high-speed micro SD card slot. Valve themselves has specifically said with this device, the Steam Machine, they are targeting affordability. No, they're going for the PC market in a way, but they're trying to appeal to the console gamers. Sound familiar? Good. So, as they describe on their website, it's powerful PC gaming made easy in a small and mighty package. And then the controller really powers all of this. It's ugly as fucking.
It's a looker.
Yeah, it's bad, but it allows for plug and play, grip enabled gyro. It's got rumble to it. It's got the same thumbsticks that they use for the Steam Deck. And this will be kind of your companion to everything within Valve's ecosystem. It can be used on the Steam Deck. You can use anything running Steam, the Steam Machine, the Steam Frame. All of this is powered by Steam's operating system, which had scared Xbox enough to make them run away from their handheld plans and completely change it and start beta testing with the Xbox Ally X. The hardware family expands in early 2026. That's the release window that we've got. And so, Cog, now we turn to our audience. Sam writes, Dukes, Valve is pulling the trigger and proving that they can count to 3 by announcing 3 pieces of hardware. I think the most interesting one is the new Steam Machine. As a PC preferred kind of guy, I'm interested to see the boost that Linux can provide since we normally see around a 30% boost over the same hardware on Windows. However, I'm not exactly excited seeing something this week as it's somewhere around the power of a PS5. Valve is claiming it'll be 4K 60 with AMD FSR, but I'm skeptical. What's y'all's opinion on this thing? What price point do you all see this working with? And would this power differential be a problem? The Steam Deck was a very low price point, but the first big PC handheld, so at least there is some hope for reasonable pricing or possibly making your own Steam machine. Where's Half-Life 3? Day, dog.
Yo.
What ran through your mind when you first saw all this?
Shout out to you. I'm in the doctor's office minding my business. Trying to, get my prescriptions done. And I get a deal from the homie Maddie. And I'm like, interesting. How did I was off of socials. I was like completely in another world. And then I just gave it. I was doing Ally Out of World. That's why I was completely thick. But yeah, man, that hit my radar quick. I said, new challenger. Yes. This is interesting. And let me tell you, like, here's the thing. Microsoft right now is trying to evolve themselves into this hybrid market. They are trying to transform themselves into this, okay, you know what? We are not competing directly with consoles. We're going to be this PC / Xbox hybrid. And we've always said, we got to watch out for Steam. We got to see what they're doing. Obviously, you said it before, like the rumors were, hey, the reason why we got the ROG Xbox Ally X as opposed to the dedicated handheld was because the rumors were that Xbox saw the Steam OS functionality and what they're coming with, and they knew they were not equipped to battle them on that OS front. Shout out to my man, The Fox, who we saw his video in reference to, the performance of running Linux on the Ally X being better than base Windows, right? So the plea is, hey, you guys need to get the performance up of your own operating system in this current state because Steam and then Bazite are performing better on the device that you have, right? So this is a key thing, right? This is what you got to look out for. So I understood the reason to say, okay, you know what? We got to wait until we get our house in order. But this is the right monkey wrench now and the whole problem. Steam entering the room, because now the way I interpret this, okay, one, yeah, we got the Steam Deck. We know what that is. Cool. They're jumping in VR. It is interesting because obviously we know Meta is there, right? If you look at this device, it's pancake lenses. It is literally the Quest. Like even down to the design and the control, it is like they took the Quest to say, we're going to try to do everything you did, make it better, put our name and our branding. And yes, they have, some of their Steam VR titles and things like that. I'm curious on the thing I worry about them in that lane is that Quest does have a lot of dedicated first party studios as opposed to them. And they have the market share. But Steam has the power. They got a lot of some exclusive related. How serious are they? I'm surprised they jumped into VR. I'll be honest, that's the biggest. I'm like, oh wow, I agree. I thought that wave was over. You're not going to take that risk, but clearly, and I will admit, as a Quest owner, one thing I love about Quest is this thing called AirLink. AirLink allows me to connect to my PC so I can play Steam VR games because one of the biggest exclusives for Steam VR is that Half-Life Alex. Oh my God, that is. So if
I've not played it yet. I've not played any of them, to be honest with you.
Bro.
I refuse to get caught in the Half-Life 3 wait until I know it's a real game, which I'll get into some thoughts on that. But yeah, that's the only reason why. It looks excellent.
Half-Life Alex there's few games where I call that killer app. You know what I'm saying? Like Asgard's Wrath is one of them. There's a couple of games when you play in VR, you're like, I get why you guys jumped in and went all out and said, this is the future. That's one of those games, right? So they are the owner of that game. So I'm curious, to me, that signals they are thinking that they could do it. I'm like, okay, new challenger Meta, interesting. But now let's get to the heavyweight. This is a problem. Because regardless to what, for Xbox, for Magnus, and whatever you could say, hey, bro, the Steam Deck was a niche device, COG. They only sold 5. Fair. That thing looks sleek. The presentation was well designed. Again, you're coming from the perspective. The only question is, okay, who is this for? Okay, if you say COG, but Steam represents the hardcore PC base, and the hardcore PC base ain't buying that. It's not for them. They're trying to appease to the casual. They say, hey, you're too intimidated by a big PC. You're too intimidated to tweak and twerk all the way.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a black GameCube and look cute and have a LED thing going on. Mm-hmm. And we have to admit, PC gaming is on the rise, right? Mm-hmm. So here's this nice little entry, but now the key is going to be the price. Where does that price land? Now, from my understanding, the power is not, I agree with Sam, is not crazy. I'm getting PS5 Pro, baby, better. Digital Foundry Bros, you guys can come to me. I didn't do my research on it just yet as far as how performing. I'm just getting the energy. It doesn't seem like a world beater, but solid. 4K 60, okay, cool. AMD FSR, they're going to rock. One thing we know, that OS is going to be clean as hell.
Yes, sir.
One thing we're going to know, the usability, the functionality, unlike some people who are still in progress, they going to come out the box where you can. One thing about Steam, you can say is reliability, UI, clean. That's why their PC Master Race guys are so obnoxious. They don't want to go to any other storefront. Yeah. Because they love it here. And I will say offline play, everything. I ain't going front. Like, they run laps around everyone's Steam store. I mean, everyone's PC storefront in terms of functionality. Yeah. This is a problem. This is a threat. And they're to market for you go 2020. What are you doing? 2026. You supposed to be down the road. What you doing jumping out right now? This is a problem. I will say it's a good thing though. This allows Microsoft, if anything motivates you to get your OS in order, it better be this. You better be you better have snitches in the building. You better send representatives.
Phil had the tweet ready to go, so he's not a snitch for sure.
You better be rise. I want to see the tweet, rise and tide, all boats. They're in your space because you are attempting to jump into this space. Now, granted, they're not a hybrid. And this is what I will say that I still feel a little good about what Xbox is doing in the sense of that we got to see, because again, as great as Steam is, will the casuals do the jump? Because remember, Steam Deck to me is dope. Yeah. I'm like, damn, it only sold like 5. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then they did jump out the window before with Steam Machine and they did kind of fail earlier. But I think they're ripe now. They've learned the lesson.
This is the right moment.
This is the moment. Console, not the console bros, calm down. I'm giving you nuance. I'm not saying console is dead. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying we got a little bit of stagnation or some level. We know PlayStation and Nintendo doing great. Yeah. But PC, look at who's dominating on like the sales of Helldivers, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see you notice now we go to the Steam numbers first? Yeah. Look at how it's doing on Steam. You know what I'm saying? We have to admit the rise of the PC gamer is there. And here's the thing. That design is clean, bro. I could see it in the living room. I could see, if depending on how they market it, depending on what that price is, well, Xbox got to take serious note. This is a threat. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is a threat. This might be their best play, and to go for the casual who just attended. Look, I know I'm rambling. No. I'm glad you put me onto this. I hate the controller. The controller's, oh my God, it's god awful. It's god awful.
A little Duke throwback. A little, a little bit of that touch of, it's a little fat. It's kind of like that about it.
That one thing is, I just hate that I like that they have trackpads, because that gives you almost that one-to-one mouse and keyboard without having mouse and keyboard, right? Yeah. I like the idea of it. I don't like the placement. And then it's like my hand's going to be on it on top of the analogs. I feel like I'm going to hit it by accident.
You can tell they're a PC company.
Yeah, you can tell. Like, I'm like, ain't nobody really
I'm going to my Xbox controller. Thank you, though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, we ain't using your joint. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, this just overall, I didn't see, this wasn't on my bingo card in 2026 when the rumors are Magnus and PlayStation are coming potentially, or at least Magnus potentially is coming in 2027. Mm-hmm. They put the world on notice. They're trying to take a serious swing at this, and Xbox better pay attention, because they thought they would have this laying to themselves. New challenger.
Yeah. This is not good news for their plans. I don't care if anyone tries to convince themselves like, well, they're trying to sell hardware now. Their hardware needs to appeal. And I've spoken extensively about how Valve is coming, and like, I really didn't think they'd be top of 2026. Like, that was not something I was anticipating whatsoever. So that does, I think, throw, like as Cog put, a huge monkey wrench into their plans, because now one of what your would-be biggest competitor is doing now is getting in front of you. And I have to imagine, even though we don't have a price right now, there's two things Valve needs to do here. Number one, since the specs are comparable to a console right now, you could imagine console-like pricing, I think. But also, Valve is trying to break through, which I think incentivizes them. And three, they have a very established storefront where their dollars and cents are already accounted for, and it's really not a problem. They're expanding that base where, again, I think I'm not there in the room. I don't know what the actual logistics are, but I do think there's a lot of strong initial motivators to eat any cost you can to compete, because you can get this to a point where you can make people think twice about a Switch 2, a PlayStation 5, definitely an Xbox. Because the problem with Xbox here is the win they have maybe is if you want the powerful version of the console PC, 1,000 plus, that's where you go to get it. I don't know if that appeals as much in today's market, because I've talked about pricing being so important. And Valve has shown with how they handled the Steam Deck, in fairness, pre-tariffs, but they priced that thing just right.
Yeah.
The cheap SKU was still great, but felt cheap enough to just get in the door. We want you here. The most expensive SKU was not outlandish and was worth it. Many people, myself included, bought the refresh with the OLED. I think this Steam machine is going to be a force. I think it's going to do well. I don't know if it's going to explode, but I think because of how PC gaming has grown, there's a lot of people, let's be real, there's still a lot of people on the edge, right? Looking in.
Oh, yeah.
But all we know is that they hear the Steam ecosystem's great. Why do they know this? The sales, right? That was a big one. But what the Steam Deck did so well was kind of took this whole ecosystem and went like this with it and brought it into view. Because then you started to see like, oh, the guides here are great. Oh, the community tab's great here. Why is that great? I get updates on news for my games. I also have community-made controller layouts. So I can play any game how I want. It's custom made for me. There's achievements, something that Nintendo doesn't have yet. So that's there, gives it a little more of a console-like feel. The UI, UX experience is fantastic. Like, this thing is, I mean, the Steam Deck brought all of that into focus. And I think the hard part, and why I don't read too much into the Steam Deck numbers, is because I do still think the handheld PC market is a bit niche. And I think until it gets smaller, that's when we're going to see a real explosion of who's like truly going to lead them all. Because right now, like, let's be real, bro. Like, we're not in the era of handhelds where it's like, this is in my pocket.
Right.
We're in this is in my backpack at best, right? I think when we start to get back to that DS era, like handheld, and it's like a thing that you collapse and in your pocket it goes, I think then we'll start having maybe not that small, by the way, but maybe like PS Vita size.
Right.
Like when we start getting to that point where we're like Game Boy microing it.
You're right. I get you.
I think that's when we'll size things up. But what Valve accomplished there was they collected a lot of data, kind of something that Xbox did. And they definitely learned they have an appeal. I mean, to be the PC handheld market leader is something, but everyone knows Steam. PC gaming is growing. There's a looming interest. And now here comes the thing that you can put in your living room, right? There's a lot of YouTubers, like I watch Spawnwave, for example. Awesome dude. Great YouTuber.
Shout out to Spawnwave.
And he like was showing these like little PCs he's bought that he custom, like he'll have Bazite on it so it boots up into Steam, and he turned it into like a little classic gaming machine. So it boots into Steam and he plays like 360 games off of it, and it's good for the living room. So there are people on like the enthusiast side of things that are interested in building these sort of things, but many people, myself included, are just looking for like, what's the easy, like I play consoles because they're easy. I turn it on. There's no tweaking and twerking. Everything's there. Nice uniform approach. Valve having something like that goes in your living room, I think is going to be big, huge. I wouldn't go there, but I think this is going to do well because it's getting people like me who are already taken care of, because the thing I'm missing is a PC-like experience for my living room. That's not an arm and a leg. Yeah. And of course they did mention on their website, they're like, you can put any OS on this. So if you're really like a Windows diehard, or you like the flexibility of Windows, or getting your emulators going, whatever it may be, like the Steam machine is as customizable as the deck. And so I just think that, combined with, let's be real, bro, here's the thing we're not talking about. They have yet to talk software. And Valve only needs to mention one game
to
drive Half-Life 3. Like, if there has ever been a time, I've never been a believer, but if there's ever been a time, this is it. I think Deadlock is going to be one of those games that already kind of sort of leaked, but I think if Valve is taking this seriously, and they seem prepared, like just doing 3 hardware announcements in a single day is a statement, because it's not about just the deck was a statement, but it's not like most companies would be like, spread it out, but to be all 3 at once, they're like an ecosystem now, just overnight ecosystem. So what supports an ecosystem? Valve knows this. Games, particularly games exclusive to your platform. And I think that they'll push for Half-Life 3. If they really mean business for this Steam machine,
that will say a lot.
That will say, it's about, we talked earlier, mind share. It's about making that statement. There is no better time to go for it than right now, when the market is ready for it. And also, like, you're launching new hardware. It's one thing, they tried the Steam machine before, didn't really work out, but that was like that third party kind of approach with Alienware and stuff. Like, here we are with something straight from you guys, and you're going for it. So they need to have incredible software to back it up. If there's any time to start going Portal 3, Left 4 Dead 3, Half-Life 3, this is the time. And also, like, I've always had the fundamental belief that before Gabe goes, he wants to do those games. Like, he will not retire until those are out the door. That's like his era, like his thing. So I feel like it's only a matter of time either way, but this feels like it, to me at least. So
yeah, no, this is an exciting time, because I didn't see this as left field. Like, I didn't see this one coming. Like, this is like, okay, we here now, they're ready. This is a rollout. This is an ecosystem, like you said, it's a platform. I guess, like I said, I want to say negative. The only thing I have to look at is that it feels like it's targeted towards the casual person, right? And I just wonder, right? Again, us being enthusiasts, we are like, yes, that's cool. That's dope. Like, I could see it. I'm just worrying about little Timmy and his father, right? Okay, he goes into the store, right? What's making him buy this over a PlayStation, over a Nintendo Switch, over, and I know it's the laughing stock right now, but over an Xbox that you may have a library with, right? So that, now I get it. They're first to market ahead of Xbox. Yes, for sure. And this is the lane that Xbox is trying to get in. Yes, for sure. But I still worried about them with mass adoption again. But if they do what Maddie says, and they have a lineup, and they have, Half-Life and Left 4 Dead, they start investing in studios, or whatever, and they really take a swing, right? Remember what like Stadia attempted to do when they were like, in theory, they were supposed to have a first party lineup, and let's say Gabe really goes for it. Then I can say, because I still feel there's a part of me that's like, I don't think PlayStation is scared yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a part of me that's like, I know what, let's say this, Nintendo ain't scared yet. I want to see how much damage this does to the high performance. Like, I got to see how they mark. I didn't need more information to see where they're going to go with it. Or is it just, hey, we have something in the space. Come join us if we can. We're still going to make a ton of money on software. I'm curious how serious they're taking that part of the software and a direct competitor to the console space. That's what I need to know. How much is the ambition there? Because there's still a part of me that says, yeah, you're probably going to do well. You're going to get, enthusiasts. But like, obviously better than Steam Deck. You're right, because Steam Deck is handheld. I get it. I'm still curious of the breakthrough. I got to get more. I got to be paying attention to this rollout and what they do. Because I guess my thing is, Maddie, if they just leave it at this, okay. But like you say, like the LSM community says, exclusive games, right? Or what's the draw to pull you away? Because a hardcore guy, let's be honest, he's gonna get a PC, and this is not the vibe I'm getting. This is still, PS5, and this is like mid to low tier PC. And if you're a casual, you're gonna need something else to draw you in. So it's still a couple things, but it's a threat for sure. I'm not minimizing. They are here.
Yeah.
And it look cool. I think it looks dope. Like I'm like, yo, minus the control. The control's garbage. Yeah. Looking. But this, man, it's sexy looking. If they market it hard and market it right, we might have this conversation, revisit this.
I agree. It's going to be an interesting test for them because they're going to go to market as a console like, we'll call it, and not have store shelf presence in a way where like video games, like, you see your Xbox, your PlayStation, your Nintendo, but you don't see like a new Steam vertical.
That
I think about. Creates a little bit of that mind share.
Yeah,
what is that?
Little Timmy, you going in the wall? Like, is that going to be on shelves? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? They have historically been the high performant. You go order from us. You got to know about us. How do they? I'm not saying that they can't break through, but I want to know how serious they are going for the casual guy, because that's where the casual guy is. He needs to physically see it. He needs it to be tangible on a lot of levels. He doesn't have that word, but he doesn't have the defining dukes, the gaming, pundits to tell him what's going on, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that'll be an interesting test for them. Is just like how far out can they reach? Because no doubt the hardcore gamer will signal boost this, but I think it's going to come down to software, because I think that's what draws, like, I can only get that there. Okay, got it. And so maybe they have data where they looked at Half-Life Alyx and they're like, look what this did for VR. What do we do for our Steam machine? Because, I mean, basically, if you make it for Steam machine, you're making it for PC, the game will do well no matter what, especially if it's like a proper Valve game. But dude, this is exciting. Like, I feel like it was so necessary. It just it stands the chance to do so much for the industry. Like, we really needed this. Like, we needed someone who kind of came in, who was new but trusted, and kind of challenged that fold a little bit more of like, okay, we know they're all going their own different directions, and maybe they're not toe to toeing anyone except Xbox right now, who's already kind of halfway out the door. But if this is price competitive and they do find that way through software and they grow their appeal, I mean, how does a PlayStation or a Nintendo, if at all, react to this? And, because now Valve is there's a reason behind this. They're trying to reach out beyond their PC ecosystem, even if they're keeping it within, like, everything's identified as a PC, right? But these are all devices that are adjacent to different types of gamers, your console guy, your VR guy, which is the most hardcore.
That's super hardcore. I was shocked by that.
Yeah. So, if they can get through, then like, what does that conversation look like now, where it's like, is Valve going to be motivated to now take, remember they did the Orange Box. They brought all their games over to Xbox 360. Is Valve motivated to do that in a world where they're trying to fight for mindshare? Or do they want to bring a Portal 3 to PS5?
That'll be interesting.
It brings that new conversation back. It reinvigorates some things of like, and like, if they start doing well, I mean, people are already buying games on Steam so much. People who I know don't even have a PC yet are building their Steam libraries through sales. So when they get a PC, and this is the thing they may have been waiting for. I think there's a lot of fringe purchasers that are going to step in on this.
And in a world where both PlayStation and Xbox are putting their games on PC, this muddies the water. Like, this is like, we're feeding the ops. You know what I'm saying? That they are, having our games as well, you know what I'm saying, as the ultimate thing. And now obviously you see PlayStation, thinking about doing their storefront. So this gets interesting, man. Game Pass, the whole, store name recognition, brand recognition. If they seriously are trying to put that brand out there with Steam Machine, it could get interesting.
Yeah, dude. I'm pumped. This was like something that when I was reading through it, I got that excitement. I was like, nice. Like this is cool as fuck. Like I think we really needed this as just an industry, but also I'm just pumped to see like Valve get into that space and like what they can make of themselves, because I think they have a genuinely excellent ecosystem.
Yeah, that product to eat. They have one of the best. I just love their UIs.
Yeah.
It just sings. Like when you're playing a Steam game, again, when I'm playing it on whatever device, it just feels good. And it just, you know what the thing about them? It's the taco. It just works. Or whatever. You know, like it just works. Like it just you feel safe with their ecosystem. And if more people get to know about it, yeah, they could get dangerous. I'm very curious if they even attempt first party studios and doing that exclusive thing. I'm very curious because in the past they've kind of not. But if they do, it will be a very interesting couple of years. We will see. Indeed.
Let's talk Todd Howard. Todd did an interview recently with GQ, and the main quote that we want to talk about today is this. Todd Howard wants you to know something straight off the bat. The Elder Scrolls 6 is, quote, still a long way off, end quote. The game's director is sitting in his home office in Rockville, Maryland, flanked by shelves decorated with game and movie memorabilia. Quote, I'm preaching patience, end quote. He tells me, quote, I don't want fans to feel anxious, end quote. To wrap this up, though, we'll jump all the way to the bottom, where Todd was asked, do you still learn any new things about making games? And he says, every project you're reminded of big things. We did a big playtest yesterday for Elder Scrolls 6, and you really have to look at the screen and say, what is this? What does this need? Where are we at? Great games are played, not made. The screen doesn't lie. The other thing is, over time, anniversaries like this happen. And it's a reminder of how important these games are to people. We've done some stuff just yesterday with Make-A-Wish Foundation. When he asked about what he did for Make-A-Wish Foundation, they said, we did an auction to make a character in Elder Scrolls 6. A group of fans pulled their money together, like a lot of money, to donate to Make-A-Wish to make them a character in someone's honor. We spent an hour and a half or so with them to tell us about their character, talk about the game, about why they love the Elder Scrolls, and what they want to see from the new one. I think we're aligned. Then the afternoon was a 3-hour play test of the Elder Scrolls 6. He says, I do have to add, though, and then the interviewer asks, did they not like it? And he laughs and says, no. I just like to announce stuff and release it. My perfect version, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, is that it's going to be a while. And then one day the game will just appear. The final question is, well, you shadow dropped Oblivion Remaster in April. Could you actually do that with Elder Scrolls 6? To which Todd said, you might say that was a test run. It worked out well. All right, Cog. We're years away still. He's preaching patience, but he's also preaching a shadow drop. What's the vibe here?
Obviously, honestly, a little disappointed. I mean, I thought I would. This basically says I'm not getting it this gen.
Yeah.
That's what that says. That we're missing a whole gen without, a new Elder Scrolls game, which sucks. I thought it'd be time, kind of thing. So I'm just like, man, I guess it's going to be ready for Magnus. It's going to be a Magnus launch title at this point. I mean, a cross-generational title kind of thing. So, yeah, that sucks. Look, I understand development. I understand how long it takes. It stung. I'll be honest. It did sting me a little bit. I was like, man, I was hoping, not at least I was hoping maybe 2026 we'd get that, a trailer or something, what I'm saying, kind of thing. And I'm just like, man, he said a ways. So I was like, yeah, I guess more Starfield it is. Your face was great just now. The disgust was awesome. Anyway, I'm a troublemaker. I got to stop. But at the end of the day, look, they clearly need more time to cook. I do like the shadow drop thing, though. I do like that. When it's ready, because we saw what at Oblivion, we had grown man, people were grown man tears in on that one. When people were seeing, I get a chance to play this for the first time, and at least it gave us a signal of what a Bethesda game with modern graphical sensibilities could look like. Mm-hmm. Granted, QA team, please come to the front of the congregation. You guys are not. These last couple of efforts have been, I don't know what's been going on. You know what I'm saying? We need
quality here.
We need investment in QA. That's all I will say. But now look, this is next gen. I will say this though. Being that we're talking Steve, if Magnus has Halo and a new Halo 7 and Elder Scrolls in that window. Not that they're in the business of trying to be selling a zillion consoles, but I will say that that looked nice with a new console. You have a plethora of games ready. What you call it, Kojima's project, all that seems to be aligning 2027. One thing for Xbox has games. Like it's just clear as day. So maybe that is the play, and they actually do a redo of what was supposed to happen with Series X of actually having their major franchises ready to go. That's how, and especially if you offer, and here's the thing. They talk about premium price device, right? Magnus, we get that. But I am of the belief that they are still going to take that Series S kind of model into it and have a mid-tier. And if you have a mid-tier that happens to be $600 to $700, you know what I mean? And it happens to, are very powerful, and it has these games that's an attractive package, for some, especially people who want to remain. Regardless to when you can say what you want to, fail, they're out of the system, they made mistakes, all fair. They still have 35 plus million users to account for to have a home that are already invested in the ecosystem. So that's the off ramp. Hey, you still got this if you want to jump into in comparison to, the Steam machine. So look, we saw what Oblivion Remastered did. As far as look at year to date on the games of the year this year. I mean, of the games that sold this year, they're up there. Yeah, and that's a remaster. That shows you the viability, the power of the Elder Scrolls name. That's one thing Microsoft has: Call of Duty, Elder Scrolls, Minecraft, Roblox. They still got like 4 or 5 of the Sinister Six that they own. They are the stewards of these franchises. So if Elder Scrolls could be part of that, that looks good for a console. At the end of the day, games still going to do well if the games the games are quality.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, I was definitely wrong in that I was thinking we would see it sometime soon. It just, based on the Shadow Drop comments, sounds like whenever we see it, we're getting it or close as hell to getting it. I get it because probably from Bethesda's point of view, it has not lost them money with something like Oblivion Remaster. It did really well. And then the other element of is like, they've waited so long, like what's another however long it's going to be, and just give it to them when they see it for the first time.
We're so broken.
Well, because I guess in my cynical approach to their shadow dropping, I've just recognized in my experience with Oblivion Remaster, it just kind of washes out the criticism because everyone's so excited. No one wants to hear when you're having not a great time. And so I was having fun until I wasn't. And then when I tried to talk about that, there was a lot of people who were yelling at me and want to battle you because it's like, no, bro, like, because that's just not what they want to hear at that time. And I think Bethesda knows this. And I think they do weaponize it. And I don't really hate that for them because shadow drops are fun and exciting. And it's like, there is no wait. I can just go get that thing. And it just sucks because it's just like, well, now in this case of Elder Scrolls 6, it's like, I mean, all of us are in different spots of our lives compared to when Skyrim came out, man. Like everyone's got a Skyrim story. I was in junior year of high school and I was like reading up previews on the game from the press. I was failing a class while I was doing that too. I was doing it in my computer lab at my high school and I was failing that class and happily so, because I was so excited for Skyrim and it was worth it. Here I am.
He said, here I am, guys.
But, again, as I said with GTA 6, like it's that level of like, I'm tired, dude. Like I just like come, like it should not take this long. The fact that we've been patient, and he says, I'm asking for patience. I'm like, bro, you don't understand how patient we have been. I sincerely thought with the way he was talking about how like, yeah, we really shouldn't have shown that trailer. Yeah, we shouldn't have shown that trailer with Elder Scrolls 6, and how it was like, yeah, it's been a while anyway. Like, he was kind of dropping these small nuggets of like, they might slide a trailer in and just be like, not gameplay, but like, here's the story, or, kind of what Starfield did. Like, here's the story, here's the universe, here's what's happening. Speculate away for a couple more years while we get shit under wraps. Like, that's kind of what I was thinking they were going to do with Elder Scrolls 6. I definitely don't think they're doing that now. And I think that's a little disappointing. So I guess maybe the plan is like once Starfield support is probably done, top of next year, Fallout 4 is obviously done, like go dark until Fallout 3 remaster and then go dark until Elder Scrolls 6. So I think that's like the best way to do it. Just because at this point they've overexposed themselves and it's led to a lot of just cynicism and lack of faith where like, I don't know, man, it's like a painful wait. And then now it's like painful because of what they've delivered before that, where it's like, man, like I really want to be excited. And I'm hoping what I see does get me like, yes, cool. But there's always going to be that level now of like that quiet bit, even with Elder Scrolls 6 of like, can they do it though? You know, like.
You're right. I mean, the resume short term has been it's been rocky, a little rocky.
I wouldn't even say short term, because even something like Starfield has some things I like about it, but it's definitely out of anything Bethesda's done, like my least favorite thing they've done. And I'm just like, you know, is that indicative of your, like, what is your focus? I mean, he talks in this interview a bit about how like he hears the things people don't like about their games. And like, he kind of talked about how Fallout 4's dialogue system was one of those things that people didn't like. And so I'm like, okay, are you maybe listening to those mistakes like with exploration in Starfield, where you kind of walked away from that a bit and it hurt the game overall? Like, is that something you've kind of recognized and you're like, okay, now we know with our next game, we need to have a voiceless protagonist and we need to make sure the exploration is good, which is what they needed to do in the first place. So it's weird getting away from that. But the main thing that gives me excitement for this game is I feel like they just get Elder Scrolls. You know, like there isn't a whack Elder Scrolls game. Yeah, there's that.
Hopefully the streak continues.
Yeah, I want the streak to continue. So I feel like they take care of it a lot more than others. Like I think if clearly Fallout's anything to go by, they would have been like, should have been out yesterday. With Elder Scrolls though, it's like, oh, hey, hang on, let's all be rational here. This thing needs a few years, right, guys? You know, like, so yeah. I mean, like obviously. Excited to see what the game will be, but I just can only hope it delivers. But it's really tough to when the wait is this long. Yeah,
no, you know, it is. This is a long time. I can't even remember when was the announcement of that trailer. I can't even. It's been
2018.
Remember. Jesus, 2018. Wow.
Where were you in 2018?
What were you doing in 2018?
I had a completely different haircut. I had the Matty comb over. And I was at E3 that year when it got announced, because they announced 76 in Starfield.
Yes. IOP was 2 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was because 2017, I believe, was our rookie year. But then we kind of went official in the 2017, and 2018 is when we really declared ourselves as that in the current iteration of it. So yeah. So it's been a minute. Now I was also at E3 that year. We probably were in the same vicinity. You know what I'm saying? But
it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, all I was going to say to your last point was just that, you know, in terms of, you know, I could feel your frustration with how we want to say they're making whack games, but I feel like what it is the quality bar and the attention to detail and the fixing and the QA and stuff like that. There's been a little bit drop off, but it's hard. I always have this analogy. It's hard to tell your best friend, yo, stop making this fast, but like you making money now. You know, somebody making money, but you don't like the way they making the money. Yeah. And you don't like the way they doing it. And it's like, it's hard to tell that friend that was struggling, that's now making money. He don't really want to listen to you. He gonna keep doing what he doing. And you like, yo, there's gonna be repercussions if you keep moving like that. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. And that's the thing. But to your point, you know, we could just hope that Elder Scrolls, that all the resources are there, that's why, you know, other things may have been suffering, because it is completely all hands on deck for that one that they cannot mess up, and so far have not, you know, truly messed up. So that's the hope, you know, that's what's happening here. But I feel you on this one. This is, when I read this, I was like, guess it's next gen. Next gen it is.
It is. Yep. Well, until then, you have a Scrolls-like you can play, and that's Avowed 2, at least at the rate Obsidian is at. So this comes from ex-Obsidian developer Chris Avellone, who obviously is not cozied up with the higher-ups of Obsidian, but definitely still knows people in the building. And he wrote on his Twitter account, quote, "Apparently, aside from DLC plans for Outer Worlds 2, it seems like Obsidian is making no plans for Outer Worlds 3, but they are doing Avowed 2. Ah, man. This is another one, man. I'm just getting ball busted all fucking week here. Like, if it was not for Valve, I would be in a really bad spot here.
Damn. What? Sad Maddie thumbnails for 4 weeks now. Damn.
No, I know. But look, if this is going to be the Outer Worlds team working on Avowed 3, or, in fairness, COG, Avowed starting as a single player game, I think would make a huge difference.
Oh, man, there we go.
So I'm open to it. Now, the thing that bums me out, no Outer Worlds 3.
You get DLC. Come on, you green. Your game is out.
I'm hungry, bro. They killed it with this one. They should make a third.
Bro, you about to get like some type of murder at Aerodon. You about to get like 3 DLC packs. You know Outer Worlds, Brandon and Matt ain't going to be finished with you. You going to get back. Let my foundational title breathe.
A new IP.
Bro, I'm telling you, like, this is the one. I know y'all don't like it, LSM fam. Well, half of y'all. I feel it's half. I think it's like a 50-50 spot. I'll be seeing Avowed guys like, nah, I like that car. But like, bro, like, this is their Skyrim light for them, but with a universe that got Baldur's Gate level lore and potentials with PoE. So my thing is like, let Josh Sawyer cook. Let him do the PoE joint. Let him build the lore. We know the development. We had Carrie in the Realm of the Dukes. This thing went from like 4 iterations. The fact that Avowed was even a serviceable game is a credit to Obsidian, if you really think about it. Bro, this thing went from Dark Skyrim open world to co-op buddy cop adventure game or whatever. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm exaggerating. Yeah. But it was a co-op game. Remember, to the point where she made a comment like, they were looking at the code, there was still co-op elements still in it. They realized, oh man, bro, the fact that this was even serviceable. And again, they've got the universe, they've got the world. All they've got to do is now take the Outer Worlds formula, the true RPG systems, getting back to what Brandon and Alan, those guys are talking about. Mm-hmm. And I'm confident that now with a proper developers and they have the direction of what it is. And please, for the love of God, choice and consequence and factions and impact choices, please. And if you want to throw romance, you could be game of the year. You could be game of the year.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'll give Romance Bros that. I think it's time. I think Obsidian's floated on the outside for long enough, and it's starting to look like something it's not. So just give the people what they want.
Every time I see Obsidian, I give them a smoke. What's up with my romance, bro?
Yeah. I want them to do it because they're going to do it terribly, and then I get to dance on you and be like, yeah, you got the romance. You got the romance, and they'll never do it again because you guys forced them to.
Listen, you got the blueprint. You see Baldur's Gate outside, man. Baldur's Gate got all type of stuff going on. Yeah. You already got the blueprint, man. You listen, man. I'm telling you that we can't ignore the elephant in the room. Horny does win sometimes. So come on, stop.
I always think of Baldur's Gate 3 where they had the video going viral of you sleeping with a bear.
Bro.
That's all it took. Then Shadowheart. Let's be
That's it, Shadowheart. Come on. We know what time it is. You got to get the bros what they want, man. Stop playing. Mm-hmm. So like I said, seriously, I do love this. I really do. I just love that world. I'm happy, man. I didn't think I was getting it. Because you know what? Like how you were sad now? Bro, when we finished reviewing Avowed and they had the nerve, they had the gall to put out that tweet, Maddie, talk about Avowed roadmap, quest fixes, NPC a little bit more legible.
Roadmap of just like no actual premium content.
I'm like, you should have kept that that should have been a memo. Like, how dare you tweet that to the world, talk about roadmap? I was like,
tweet that to the world.
Bro, I was disgusted. I was like, what is this? Like, I'm never going to get a chance to go back into this world. I was like, all right, they go dead it. They failed experiment. Damn, I don't get my joint. Bro,
and Carrie leaving, right? Like she was like one of the stewards of the Pillars universe.
It's over for my game. And I'm like, because again, what we got to realize a game is people don't realize. You realize it, but a lot of our favorite titles don't hit stride into that sequel.
Yeah,
where they put it all again, and that game deserves it, man. I love that game. So yes, this is for me. Outer Worlds, bros, you good. You're going to get tons of DLC. You ain't got nothing to worry about. And they need a little palate cleanse. And remember, Josh Sawyer doing that PoE lore. And for the PoE guys, you're going to have your game. I think they might be making another Pillars game. I think they trying to do, that's going to be their Baldurs. This is the thing I like about Obsidian. With more, I don't know if you caught that interview with Marcus Morgan with Christopher Dring and them. Did you catch that one?
Yeah.
He said a key thing. And we have to give this to Obsidian. Or historically, they've always worked on other people's games.
Yeah.
Let them cook, bro. They got four pillars, no pun intended. Pillars, Avowed, Outer Worlds, Ground. Come on, bro. Those are four foundational IPs that they could build out on themselves. That's what I'm loving what they doing, man. So this is my Christmas gift. This is my birthday gift right now. I'm feeling happy right now.
Good. Yeah, I definitely respect that they want to make their own things, and but at the same time, I mean, Microsoft. I mean, if you want to do your boy a solid, I mean, this is where you work the muscle a little bit. It's like put them in a little headlock and be like, oh yeah, you like working on your own thing, right? To continue to do that when your games might be underperforming, you're gonna make Fallout New Vegas too. Like, especially bro, Adler and Co. seem to get New Vegas on a very
100%.
Fundamental level in its design. And when you have that talent, plus, dude, it's one thing if I'm out here like preaching, make New Vegas 2 and no one there who worked on the game is there, but you have the director, you have the lead writer, and you have the head of the studio. They were all there. The only person who's missing in that set of people, the pillars of Vegas, was the man who gave us the news today.
Stay stitching.
Yeah. That's the only one who's really missing in all of this. And it's a huge missing component, to be completely clear about that. However, I still think Outer Worlds 2 is a very strong showing of like this team can still make fantastic role-playing games. And I just, again, I'm just sitting here reading this. I'm like, okay, if you're not doing the Outer Worlds 2, you know what to give me then. Especially, bro, when your games shoot like this, when your games shoot like this, you're telling me you're going back to swords?
But bro, it's not. But see, you can't throw it on my man. My team is not beholden to the IP. Your man with the jacket is holding the keys. That's not my team fault. My team says, yo, we like to do. You know how many times my team's like, yo, we want to do it. I've never seen another studio scream about somebody else's game for bad months. And the other team is they mum's the word. They're not saying nothing. You speak this time, yo, will you allow? Well, we like to do our own stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's Todd, bro. Speak to your man.
If I get a chance to, I doubt he'll ever speak to me after this week. But like, if I ever get a chance, I will happily ask him again. You know,
it ain't Fergos. My team is we ready. We ready to go. We know y'all know what we do. Even in the Outer Worlds interviews, I was talking to Brandon and Matt. They were like, "Yeah, we going back to do Vegas and stuff." They're mentioning Vegas by name.
Yeah.
There's a love for it.
They get it. They get it.
He controlling. He want to run.
I did mention earlier how powerful the guy is. So yeah, all it takes is one no from him, and that's really it.
Bro, he doing GQ interviews. You already know what time it is. When you in GQ, you don't even go to game. That leather jacket is on a whole nother stratosphere right now. We can't talk to him in regular gaming circles.
What does GQ even cover? Like, his. I like, they're not gaming adjacent, right? But
bro, ever since I seen PlayStation going over there, GQ is the new where all the executives go now.
Man, what is this?
I think Herm was over there. GQ getting all the gaming luminaries now.
Style, shopping, culture, grooming, wellness, GQ Sports, GQ Box, videos, Men of the Year. Yeah,
I don't see one tab for gaming.
I'm thinking Todd.
Yeah, bro, you see, look at the picture they put. Brown leather. Look at it. Look at the pic. He's ascended. That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
Your man's ascended. And he's got the Amazon. Tom moving, you know, it's gonna be hard when he's making that type of bread right now.
Yeah.
Listen.
Well, Avowed 2 seems to be in the cards on the way, but not Outer Worlds 3. So I will feast on my DLC like it's my last meal. And I'm just excited to see what Obsidian's doing next, because after a hard year of work, it's time to reload the chamber. And so Avowed 2 makes sense, but what are you going to use all of that first-person shooting in New Vegas systems for? I can only think of one thing, but we'll see. Anyway, Cog, it's time to wrap this thing up. We've been here for a while.
Yeah, we made it.
Nice one-on-one Duke.
Yeah, man, I missed
it. It's been a while. It's been a while because, you know, we've had guests every week. Somehow we still hit 4 hours. I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying my best, but you know,
Xbox. We got to say this. As Xbox, but they always give us stuff to talk about, bro.
Yeah,
you can't say they don't. Like it is never a dull moment on this side.
No, I think it's fun. I think it's fun. And I'm glad people tune in. Our viewers have been going up. We appreciate that. We love to see people locking in. But Cog, any closing words as we get on out of here?
Yeah, man, good show. A lot of great topics, a lot of stuff going on in the industry, man. And I'm just gonna sit back and watch. This is a wild time right now.
Indeed. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll leave you with the hashtag Steam DD.
Oh, we got to Steam DD. We steaming,
Steam DD. All right, use that hashtag. I'm at G27status. Cog is at Lord Cognito. You can tag us on Twitter. Otherwise, use the comments down below. Hashtag Steam DD. We hope you enjoyed. And we'll catch you next week for episode 255 of Defining Duke and Xbox podcast. Peace out.
Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is a product and trademark of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC and is recorded from the United States of America. The show is conceived by Matthew Mr. Matty Plays Schroeder and me, Colin Moriarty, and is written and produced by Matthew Schroeder. Matty's co-host is Barry Lord Cognito Eversley. Defining Duke's executive producer is Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. As you know, all of Last Stand Media's shows, including Defining Duke, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer support level on Patreon, and we're thankful for your kindness and generosity.